One moment, everybody. One moment. We're getting there. We're getting there. We'll go boom. We'll go bop. Pop it all out. See what happens. You know what I mean? Throw it down there. See what happens. What's up? What's up? What's up? Da, 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 da.
And then we'll wait for him.
Bam, 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 bam. All right. Hope everybody's having a fantastic week so far. It's been a long one for me. Holy crap. A lot of shit has happened this week. It's not even not tech related, but just like life. There's a lot of gears moving, but it's looking pretty good. Everything is looking pretty good. We should get our car back. If any of you know, we should get our car back on the 9th, which is pretty hype. Pretty fucking hype. Other than that, let's let's get started here. Let's talk about the tech. All right, I'm here, brother.
Yo, yo, yo.
How's your week been so far?
So far, so good. Dude, it's super nice out.
Dude.
To the point where it's like, I almost forgot, like, oh yeah, the sun can give you a little burn sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. It's been super hot in my warehouse because it's already really hot. And then having sunny days on top of it and a fucking big metal cage. Woo, boy. But it's been good.
AC,
it's been great.
You can't be turning ACs on, dude. You gotta save that money.
Well, most areas are AC'd, but not my office because there's no plants there.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So I'm just sitting there getting cooked.
Just a human life. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's spin that. Oh, hold on. Before you spin the wheel, I like pulling up your stream so we can watch it together.
All right.
I normally would already have it up. Oop.
Spin. Day.
I want the other one. I want the other one. Nice. I clicked the right one this time. All right. Spin.
Let's do this.
That wheel.
God damn, I thought you were right in the middle. All right. So to prove that I'm not crazy here, because we talked about it like 2 weeks ago, but yet I couldn't find it. So do me a favor. Do me a solid, sir.
No more spam in Gmail. Oh, I actually remember you going over this.
Yeah, so if you happen to have your phone with you.
I do. I have all of my phones.
Who doesn't have a phone nowadays? Just kidding.
Okay, okay. But, what am I doing here?
So if you open Gmail, I'm curious if it's on yours. It should be. It's not really. Okay. I had to update this.
Gmail is open.
Okay, and then you tap on the sandwich icon.
I should go to my personal email. Oh my God. Everything is messing up right now, brother. Okay, here we go.
It's like we're live or something.
Gmail's open. All right, I'm on my personal email. Okay.
All right, now hit the sandwich icon that's to the left of search in email.
Okay. Oh yeah. Like the menu.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Menu icon.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're literally gonna like barely scroll down. So right under trash, does it say something?
Personal.
It literally just goes to personal right after trash?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
What should be there?
I will here. Screenshot it just so you know I'm not crazy here.
Well, hold on. Maybe my app needed updated and I just updated my my main phone today. I updated all apps. So let's see. Yeah, don't say shit.
All right. Well then. Sending this over.
Okay.
In the cord right now.
Okay. Is it the manage?
Yes.
Interesting.
So it's literally that easy to where they give you its own inbox, basically, its own filter, and you click on that, and all it is on the right hand side of it is a little minus box, And if
Huh.
you click on it, you're like, oh, unsubscribe from this. Like, yes, and then it'll unsubscribe kind of for you. Kind of like when it does it in the emails. If you ever click on those, like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes in the top right, it'll say unsubscribe strictly from there, which is dope.
Yeah.
But the fact that they have its own little filtered tab now is sick
Interesting.
because it'll be on Android first. Then I want to say an iOS/web update will be applied, and then you'll be
Okay.
able to manage your subscriptions from there.
So does that throw like oh wow, hold on. It's there we go. I fixed you. But does that throw like so anything related to like let's say Netflix or Hulu cuz managing a subscription like what kind of spam is
Yeah.
it searching for? Is it just searching for like hey, save money on this or is it just like everything?
I think it tops off because when I'm scrolling right now, for an example, I think it just does everything, honestly.
Okay. Okay.
Anything you're subscribed to. And then what gets put at the top are, let's say for an example, this newsletter that I'm subscribed to, it says 20 plus emails recently, and then it filters down from there.
Okay.
So,
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
and then obviously a little disclaimer, when you unsubscribe, it can take senders a few days to stop sending messages, but obviously it is nice having it all in one. Even though I will say
wait. So
Hmm.
it automatically pushes the unsubscribe button for you? Is that what you're saying?
No, well, you still have to do it because when I hit the minus button, it'll say like, "Do you want to unsubscribe?" and you just say yes. So it's kind
Oh.
of two ways to do it. That way is more of a, if you're kind of like, all right, I'm gonna clean my inbox up,
Mhm.
kind of go to town on this
Mhm.
instead of one at a time. Then that's probably the easiest way to do it.
That's
So,
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we take
I thought
those.
that was nice. But clean that shit up, especially because obviously I feel like the biggest point when you kind of get irked on that is maybe after I would say the holiday season, because a lot of people will sign up for that. If you sign up or give us your email, you'll get 10% off something, which you're fine with it at
Yeah.
that point. But after that, you're like, I don't want your your newsletter or your updates or this or that.
Yeah,
So,
like when you click on a website and they give you that wheel and it's like put in your email and you could get whatever you win on the
This, yeah.
wheel. Yeah. So what I'm
or even
gonna
if you order anything, it's
What
just
I-
like, did you want to stay updated on this? Hit this and subscribe. It's like, no.
I'll be updated for the discount and then I'll be out.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do real quick is that I haven't done my update yet, so maybe this has something to do with it. So I'm gonna do my update
Okay.
on my Pixel real quick, and then later on in the show I'll check and see if I have it now.
All right. And then
I doubt it does, but we'll see.
Yeah. I'm trying to see because it'll let me know. Yeah. At least my Gmail last updated on April 23rd. But
Oh, like
So-
your app?
yeah.
Okay, I'm
I don't
checking.
know
I'm checking on my
how they
Pixel
determine
8
who
right
gets
now
it, but
to see if there is a Gmail update. Dude, okay, so real quick side tangent. I'm so bad at like I have 21 pending updates. Oh my god. Why don't these just fucking install? Why do I have to
I
open
know.
this?
I thought
Go
that
to
I thought the
search.
default.
I thought so
the default
too.
was to update when it's charging.
Yeah,
But
like
every time I always go in there happens to be some that I'm missing. It's like interesting.
I had 45 like I think it was last week and I was like, how did this happen? I don't even I aren't you supposed to just do it? My computer does it.
Yep. Nope.
That's cool though. That'll be hype.
People don't visit the store enough. You got to come in and see us.
Dude, I rarely open the store. I used to open it all the time to look for games. Don't do that anymore.
Which, speaking of that, I think that's actually going away. Just as a side note,
Games? Or the store?
the Google Play games, if that makes sense.
Oh, the Play Pass or whatever
Kinda
it
like
was called?
Yeah, that thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
that thing.
Did you get it?
No,
They kept-
there's really no incentive. I can kind of see an Apple's perspective because they get decent at like indies on there
Mhm.
for Apple Arcade, but I don't know. I'm just not a big mobile game person.
No.
Doesn't resonate with me. So
If I'm playing on my phone, I'm playing something like Tetris or like I don't know, something that like makes my mind think. Does that make sense? I'm not gonna sit there.
Those brain games.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play PUBG on my phone. I'm not gonna play
Yeah, no.
Call of Duty or whatever it's called. It'll be more like multiplication, addition kind of things.
Yeah. Which again, we're gonna go a side tangent on a side tangent. I guess
Ooh,
Overwatch
we're going
is
deep.
also gonna be put on a mobile app store, whatever, not coming up here soon.
Maybe it'll save it.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I've lost interest in it, but again, the mobile market is what it is, and it's not. It doesn't have me in it, but it doesn't mean there's not people in there willing to spend money.
Well, and there are a bunch of kids too.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's funny too because they're gonna call it Overwatch 3.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, the biggest thing is NetEase. I think is the one I think it's NetEase. They're the ones overseeing it, and they're very, very known for like heavy in the microtransactions. So
great.
Yeah. So they're going whale hunting.
Oh fuck.
But in terms of naming, it's like, why'd you just not name it Overwatch Mobile or something instead of Overwatch 3? Because you want to talk about confusion.
That's a weird game to want to whale in on mobile. Like
it makes so much sense though.
Does it? I feel like Diablo makes more sense on mobile than Overwatch.
Maybe quick matches though. Diablo is a pretty long game. Not saying PUBG is a short game either though. So again, this is why I'm confused with mobile games sometimes.
Yeah,
they're not drop in, drop out.
Diablo's kind of like in and out though. You play in Overwatch, you're stuck. You're stuck for at least that whole round. And then let's say
you just drop your team and you're like, deuces guys, I gotta go eat or something.
There goes your rank.
Yeah.
I mean, who cares? But
Yeah.
You know what sucks too is I did like Overwatch. I had a lot of fun with it. You were actually first person I played it with. It was the first PC game I played. Oh no, it wasn't. It was the second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, I think it's in its heyday. It's because I think it had one of those moments where it was the first one.
Like it?
Yeah. And so everyone else, trying to copy it just kind of died off from there, even though it was the same thing. And then granted, we're starting to kind of see it with other games in terms of your class bases still. But I don't know. I feel like in terms of genres and stuff, you're gonna remain with your core people that will still enjoy it, but everything's temporary basically. Everything has a die off point, or at least a slowdown, I should say. So
speaking of that, before we spin the wheel again, everything has a die off point. Did you watch? Oh well, I know you did. What'd you think of Marathon?
Oh, in general. Granted, I haven't played the alpha. I will say that. I'll give it that caveat where I haven't played the game, so I'm just going off of like watching a trailer to hype me up in a sense. The biggest thing that I wanted out of that reveal was actually a Netflix show or something to come out of it, more than the actual gameplay itself, if that makes sense.
Is that happening? I feel like I heard that.
No.
Well, no, wait. There's another game that's happening with. I don't remember. Anyway.
Yeah, because when they were at the very end, the tail end of revealing it, they showed off like kind of a background story piece of it, and that was super like trippy and everything. So that was kind of interesting. You're like, oh, okay, I kind of want to know more about that. But in terms of the extraction piece of it, like, not so much on my end at least. Like, there was nothing to hook me, I guess.
So have you? I don't know if you've seen it. There was nothing to really hook me either. I'm not a huge extraction based kind of like Escape from Tarkov. Looks great, but I would never play it. You know. But have you seen its like massive drop off? Like dude, like,
is the alpha still going? I guess that's the only thing I have to ask.
Currently it says that there's 1,000 players playing as of 6 o'clock.
Okay.
But
wasn't its peak 6,000?
Yeah. Yeah. And granted, it's
which
a close.
still isn't too.
Granted, it's a closed alpha, but like, dude, its average players right now is 890. It's crazy. You got big
Interesting.
streamers like Shroud, and he's like an FPS streamer. He doesn't even. He should be playing it every day if it's a great game.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
played it
which,
we played it like day one, and that's it.
Yeah, which we can just go into it just because it phases right into it anyway, since the conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of this guy. We'll just talk about Ark
Going into
versus
Ark?
Marathon. Yeah, versus actually the rest of these extraction shooters.
The hard death of Bungie, though.
They'll still find their audience in a way. It's so hard because a lot of, everyone nowadays, honestly, whether you like it or not, everyone screams from the top saying, "Oh, the game's dead. The game's dead." Like,
well, it's just it's more of like they invested a lot of money into this game. They bought a lot of content creators, even just for that video. But there's also multiple that are sponsored by them that I watch actually. Like Valkyrie is sponsored by them. Leslie's sponsored by them. It's crazy, bro. Like that.
okay.
That's a lot of money to dump into a game that Anyway.
Well, in terms of that though too, like, so that only goes so far, but I feel like the authenticity of that, and I've seen it just scrolling YouTube even, the last few days, because it ain't no quinky dink, I don't think, in terms of Arc Raiders and Marathon kind of having their alphas line up, or at least be close. And so, because I know Shroud, I didn't watch it, I know he made his like Marathon review in a sense on his YouTube channel, and then he also made one for Arc Raiders, but at the same time, I think I was even scrolling today, I don't know if he's playing it now per se, but
Let's look.
he was playing Arc Raiders.
He's literally playing it right now.
Okay, yeah, so that alone proves like you can buy content creator, basically marketing. You can buy marketing and have someone explain your game and how they felt about it overall, but having someone come back to it, that piece, I guaranteed he's not being paid for on that end.
So
kind of thing. That's his genuine, just like, oh, this is fun, let me play this.
You know what's wild? He hasn't even streamed Marathon once. Oh no, he did.
Oh really? It was just a review.
I lied.
Okay.
He played it for 7 hours, but so far for Arc Raiders, he's played it for a whole day, over 24 hours. Over 24 hours.
Okay. And then I'm pretty sure you're familiar with him, but Stone Mountain 64.
Yeah. Facebook streamer.
Yeah. So, yeah. 5 minutes till bedtime, boys.
Yeah. We gotta go.
We gotta go. But no, yeah, he had. I think it was I saw one stream where it's kind of like both, where he dipped his toes into Marathon, and then Arc Raiders was later. And then literally the next video I see out of him, whatever the next day or something like that, was Arc Raiders, like almost like people just claiming like, yo, this is gonna be Game of the Year contender kind of shit.
That's what Shroud says right here. Game of the Year 2025.
Yeah. So it's I don't think it's just providing a smackdown to Marathon right now. It is. This is kind of like pushing it the hell out of the way, almost to a point where I'm kind of curious, because I don't know if this one states when it will be released, because I want to say Bungie's Marathon is in September.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it'd be wild if it was the same time.
Closed alpha. Yeah, because Marathon launches in 6 months.
Oh, completely different art styles. I've actually haven't watched any Arc Raiders. I know of the game. I haven't watched it at all. Way more realistic,
really?
Way more gritty.
It is more gritty. Kind of like, I don't know, you're like on Mars or something, desert-ish kind of stuff. It is funny though, because props to the commenter who made this comment, because even I can't unthink this, because I kind of like how it's in third person. That is kind of dope. I will say that's the difference between a lot of these, is it's in third, and so your typical FPS. But the suit you're wearing, again, you'll probably be able to get different stuff. I've seen like space helmets and whatever not. but someone's like, "Yo, this is like Ghostbusters, dog." I'm like, "Ah, damn it." It is pretty close to Ghostbusters.
It actually looks super nice. I definitely appreciate that art style way more. Not super saturated, more
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, more dark.
Robloxy.
Yeah. Or
Um,
not Roblox, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And it's funny too because so this is I can't remember if I don't think you've played it, but this is the same devs as the people
Hmm.
who've made the finals.
Oh, didn't that game kind of crash?
Uh,
The movement in it looked
ag-
great though, if I remember
I'd say
correctly.
yes, but again, I'd almost categorize it more as like it found its niche, and that's the only people who maybe play it
Mm,
hardcore,
I
if that
see.
makes any sense.
Hmm.
Um, but in terms of its gameplay and kind of its seasons and whatever not, um, I think I played it up until about season 3, season 4ish, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, no, the gameplay was actually super fun. Like it ran pretty smooth for being how like graphic intense it kind of looked. Um, so in terms of our creators being an extraction shooter and kind of more on the realistic side, and
Hmm.
the studio Embark or whatever not, being behind this, dude, this thing's gonna. Honestly, I feel like they just copy paste whatever they had the finals engine and whatever, and just kind of here you go. I think it's gonna be it'll
Reskin it.
sell well. Yeah, yeah. Because a lot of people are also thinking because I don't think any of these um said what price point they're gonna be at. A lot of people are guessing the $40 mark.
I would guess 40 to
Yeah,
49.99.
yeah. Well, not even 49. They're thinking 39.99.
Mm. Yeah, I would say
'Cause
between 39.99 and 49.99.
Yeah,
I
because
think I said
Bungie's gone on
129.
record saying that this would not be free to play. Um, so people are aware of that, which is
Think
funny
it,
because if Arc Raiders technically didn't even have to defend something being, a paid game because people didn't even ask. They're just like, "Yo, this is fun and this seems like it's worth the money," kind of
mhm,
thing. Whereas Marathon was completely different. Like, why the hell would you charge for this? That kind of
mhm.
thing. So,
Yeah,
but
I think Marathon will have to end up being free to play if they want new players. Any
it,
leg,
it,
any
it'll be
legit
interesting.
players.
Yeah, because every article I've seen, again, I didn't watch any really too many in-depth videos about Marathon, um, but a lot of the articles and whatnot that I skimmed past towards the end basically said Marathon was fine, like the PVE was kind of strong, and this, and that. You could find PvP fights, and this, and that. But at the end of the day, with an extraction shooter, there was really no like a hook, basically. Like, hey, let's run it again, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I haven't
So
watched any in-depth videos either. I've just seen the public response and what
yeah,
people have said on Twitter and what other people I've watched have said. I watched a few commentary videos on it, but not like in depth. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's
I
see.
think it's
What's that on?
I don't think it's gonna do very well, and I think it's gonna be a stain on Bungie for a bit. Maybe maybe it'll be like No Man's Sky though, and loop back around and be decent.
Turn it around.
Yeah.
That's the hard part though, because I don't know, you're an extraction shooter.
Oh, that just made me think of something. Apparently Lords of the okay, this is completely different. But apparently Lords of the Fallen is actually a really good game right now. It went from being like super shit to actually very good. They finally updated. I don't know if you know what Lords of the Fallen is, but it was a pretty hyped game. I think 2 years ago, and it
Okay.
was released really broken, and they finally just released like 2.0 update, and they've released a whole bunch of content for free. Like the devs for that game were so dedicated that they were just like, you know what? Nope, we're gonna fix it. So they went through and they actually fixed the game, and now it's a very like much more well perceived game.
See, that's props to them because I feel like a lot of
Dude,
devs, and not just that. What's the time frame between those? I guess
like
'cause you have to be kind of
between
quick on the ball to
between
update that shit.
oh dude, hold on. Let me see if I can pull up the link for it. Uh it's insane what they did for a game that was people are just saying this game is trash. Just throw it away.
Oh, just straight up. Okay.
And they actually fixed it. Let me see. Is this the no, there's like a graphic that you can maybe if I go to images. Yeah, this right here. So this they've released all whoa god, fuck me. Are you serious? You know what? I'm not putting my birthday in right now. Maybe this.
We
will
need
do.
to know everything.
There's not a this is the image I want, but I don't want to have to put it here. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'll just go like this for a second. I was super stoked to hear that though, because not very many devs would be like, all right, you know what, let's run it back, let's fix it. A lot of devs would just be like, all right, on to the next. Sorry, that sucks. Let's lay off half our people and just move on.
A lot of them don't give a shit.
So they released all of this stuff. All of it. Well, okay, not quite all of it, but they've released 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 large content packs, as well as weekly enhancements to stability, performance, balancing, co-op, PvP improvements. So like they have been highly dedicated to fixing the game, and it's actually its Steam score has gone up tremendously due to that.
Good.
Yeah, I went from mostly negative to like averagely positive now, and it most likely will go up even higher. Pretty cool. Sorry,
Yeah.
that was totally aside.
No, that's dedication, if anything.
Super cool.
You love to see that shit.
Yeah, recent reviews mostly positive now, but they originally were mixed. So it's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Bungie's technically gonna have to do it because honestly, not just like going over to like the whole like, oh, this is Concord 2.0, but at the same time, like
feels like
this is technically under Sony's watch again.
Yep.
So
just oh man,
putting that out there. As much as Bungie, you know, this is, you know, a vision that they've had, whatever, not blah blah blah. Like it's under Sony's management, honestly. So
holy crap, that didn't even click. I forgot about Concord because that was out for like 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. That was that one. That one I
wow.
can give people the benefit of the doubt in terms of saying, yo, this shit's dead.
Yeah. Don't even put it back in the oven, just throw it away.
Yeah, which is
that's
wild.
Holy fuck. I forgot about that, bro. Oof. Some L's.
The only thing that kind of makes me sad just a little bit is that probably I think it was like a year and a half ago or so, Arc Raiders was pitched as and shown off as a PvE looter shooter. And I believe it was also going to be promoted as a free-to-play. So
similar to Destiny?
Yep. But more in a literally in this environment, in this exact same environment.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, so that would have been interesting.
I would have played that, actually.
Yeah, that I would have been like, all right, let's dig into this. Let's go get some loot. Let's go public, you know, in terms of like boss fights, whatever, not public boss fights, all that sort of thing. And then, I don't know, for me, it's just the whole, I think it's because of the, in a sense, for me, the PvP aspect of the extraction piece of it, where it's like, you know, that just doesn't click for me. Like, it doesn't sound fun. How about that? Like, simplest way to put it, just doesn't sound fun.
Doesn't sound fun to lose all your shit.
Yeah. And not saying, you know, I don't know, some people like that thrill and whatever not, but, and it's funny too, because something as simple as Prox Chat is in Arc Raiders. And it's not in Marathon right now because they're quote unquote trying to figure out how to do it best.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's like, okay, are you like thinking, you know, you're trying to, what kind of age demographic are you trying to, I guess, trigger with this game? If you're having to think that hard about it compared to just like, yo, throw this Prox Chat feature in there and call it good. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, they pivoted Arc Raiders, I think, I want to say within the last, probably, I'd say a year, a couple months or so, just because I remember getting the, because originally I did sign up for the beta when Arc Raiders would drop because of the the looter shooter aspect of
Mhm.
it. But when I come to find out, when it's extraction shooter, like I don't know, for me, I just lost all interest. So
Yeah. I wish I was more
but
interested.
yeah, I might have to watch some gameplay of others. The hard part is, and I don't know if anyone, there's probably other, people out there that are doing it, and I'm just closed-minded in a sense of thinking of just the big timers, because a lot of those guys, they're typically playing with other streamers that are also somewhat big time usually.
Hmm.
Which then at that point, is the game fun, or is it fun, or is it just like fun because you're playing with friends, if that makes sense?
Or is it just what your channel expects? So you
That
have to
too,
play
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Hmm.
That is true. Like if you've played COD, you're gonna play this shooter. If you played this
Hmm.
shooter, then that means you're gonna play this shooter.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
a good point too.
some people's
These
channels,
channels are businesses basically.
yeah,
So,
and they're stuck if they
yep.
if they you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what's funny
I'm
is
just
actually
curious.
Ludwig went over that when he was talking about starting streaming. He's like, if you do one thing, you're gonna be stuck doing that one thing the whole time. The reason I was able
Yeah.
to do everything is because I did everything, and I was like, oh, makes sense.
No, that's what you do. That's what you do.
He did say it was much
Um,
harder to grow that way though.
Oh yeah. Because good luck. Oh, not just that, but people will be like tune in and be like, "What is this? That's not your usual." So,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
but at the same time, I kind of feel like that's kind of nice too. At the same time, because you kind of weed out those people that are just like single-minded in terms of like thinking that like a person has only one interest or one hobby.
Yep.
If that makes sense. Yeah, I'm just like,
Only want
that
to
makes
watch
no sense.
scary games. No, I want to play some.
Yeah.
I want to play something happy.
Mario.
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, like
You know.
something way different. It's like, okay, so you kind of get the true homies, I feel like, eventually built up. But yeah, I don't think I've seen solo gameplay of Arc Raiders. See, that would be my thing. It's like, how big are these maps, and then when you're running across them and all this other stuff, does it feel empty? Obviously you have to go gather some gear and all this other shit, but at the same time, I don't know, just I'd have to watch that aspect of it.
It's definitely not a game I would play solo. I would never play a game like that solo.
Yeah, because it kind of, because Extraction for me kind of has the same vibe as solo battle royales, where it becomes, I spent, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes going around looting, gearing myself up, whatever not, and then it could literally take 30 seconds or a minute to have that all be gone, if that makes sense.
To lose it all.
And I'm just like, that loop in my head, I'm like, that doesn't sound fun. But
there definitely are people playing it alone. Like I just typed into Twitch Arc Raiders and I checked out Mr. Fruit. He's playing it alone. He's trying to fight this big ass crab looking thing.
Oh yeah, good luck with that. That thing seems huge.
Yeah, he just got himself downed. Surrendered.
Which I'm curious how that works.
Oh man, that sucks.
Because unless you have self revive or something, I don't know how that works. But
I don't know. He just had to surrender. Yeah, there are actually quite a few people playing it alone. It's just not that kind of game that I would play alone. The only reason I would ever play this is if I had people.
Yeah.
And even then, I'd be like,
you then have to convince them, hey, do you want to spend $40 on something?
mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it's 40 again. I don't know.
And then I would much rather be like, how about we play some like Helldivers?
Yeah, it's something we already have and whatever not.
Yeah.
Just dig around, not be so serious. That's a funny thing with games, unless it's like a story, because that makes sense. It's telling the narrative, but in terms of any other game, it's like, kind of don't want it to be serious.
No.
Especially with like FPSs. I always try to go opposite, where it's just like, what's the stupidest shit we can do?
Well, I used to be serious with it, and it ruins your mental, man.
Yeah, because you just get so focused on it, and you're like, why am I giving this so much more value than what it deserves?
Yep. It's not like I'm gonna get a fucking medal. I'm not gonna get a raise at work.
A little pat on the back. Oh, congrats, you're diamond.
Yay. Ain't nobody gonna fucking know but you, unless you tell somebody, and then they're gonna be like, oh wow, what weird flex.
Yeah, How many hours you get on that, nerd?
Oh, you know what I
So
have been
good.
flexing though is my hours in Schedule 1. God damn.
There you go. You got
Been
it. Are
putting
there
them back.
upgrades for that?
Updates?
I can't remember. Not updates, but like but I'm assuming you can like level your character in a sense, if that makes sense.
In Schedule 1?
Yeah. Or is it just like you become? Because I know you're the dealer and whatever, not. But like,
yeah.
is there like progression?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've done it all now, but there is progression. Like you
Oh, okay.
get to deal other things. You know what I mean? But there's only 3
Oh, there
things
you
in
go.
total.
Okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. For now,
He-
I'm assuming.
yeah, he's adding a bunch more.
Okay. Is this called schedule? You said schedule 1, right?
Mhm.
Is this to the point of like there being a schedule 2, or would that be like an update? I guess. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a live service per se, or it's like a set game.
I don't know. If there was a Schedule 2, it'd probably be like after he got like a studio behind him. Because right now he's
Gotcha.
still building on the first one. He's gonna add like shroom. He's gonna add them all. He's gonna add everything.
Yeah. This is a one-man operation.
Yeah, it's Tyler.
Oh, damn.
His name's Tyler.
Dude, these one, oh man.
He's crushing.
Which I guess, speaking of that, because granted it's not on these show notes here or anything like that, but honestly, I feel like a majority of the AAA has kind of lost its way.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Because obviously, unfortunately, EA cut. I think it was. I want to say anywhere up to like 600 or so, a couple hundred employees. How about that? That's a good safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
And again, kind of going with that whole extraction shooter thing, Titanfall or whatever, Respawn working on one.
I saw that.
Which sucks for job wise, but at the same time, it's just crazy in terms of chasing trends.
Mm-hmm.
So like, for the love of God, I will say this now, Halo, do your own thing when you're making this new game or whatever you're doing. Any other studio out there, don't be chasing this shit. Don't you dare put in a Halo extraction.
Please.
You can put in a mode, that's fine, because some of these things can just be modes by themselves. They don't have to be the entire game, I guess. But I think a lot of these studios get caught up in the chase, but at the same time, by the time they get released, it's already too late.
Yep.
So that's the whole fiasco with Halo Infinite in terms of like, oh, they were working on a battle royale. Like, that was rumored the entire time in terms of before and during production of Infinite. And it's just like, at that point, dude, like, unless you're Fortnite and maybe a few underneath that, like, it's kind of done, kind of over with.
You would have already been way behind. Like, there would have been absolutely no reason. Nobody would have bought it for that reason. And
in a sense too, like these AAA games, whether it be trend chasers and all this other stuff, they take. I don't even know. I don't think it said how long the Respawn extraction shooter was in the works for, possibly, but those guys take, I don't know, years, 3 to 5 years or so to put something out, and by that time, I feel like these bubbles maybe have I don't know, maybe a 5-year max. I could be wrong. But in terms of like heightened popularity.
How long was Concord being worked on?
Oh, sweet Jesus. I think that was I think that was an example of when I watched someone. I can't remember who was saying it, but that one was years.
7 years.
Well. That sounds about right.
8 years.
But in terms of
it was being developed for 8 years.
That didn't even have a single player. That was strictly multiplayer too, if I'm not mistaken.
They got the idea 8 years ago, and then they thought it'd be good 8 years later.
Holy shit.
That's wild.
Dude, that's like the analogy in terms of like in a relationship where you're just like, babe, I don't want you to change, let's say through 8 years, and be like, okay, like fucking good luck. People change in 8 years. So yeah, a game, you're expecting it to like, I want the same exact idea to happen 8 years later. Yeah, no way.
It doesn't work when you're building a strictly multiplayer game that's not the generic 4v4, 5v5, big BTBs. If it's not that, and it's some trend, some niche, some battle royale, some extraction, so it's something niche, it just doesn't work.
cracks me up.
You can't
That's why I
develop for
kinda
8 years.
No, and that's why I kind of feel like these AAA studios are getting they're literally burning themselves, if this makes
Yep.
sense, just because when you set such a high um budget, I guess, in terms of like we're gonna spend like we're a Hollywood studio at this point.
Which is
We're
wild.
gonna spend
Wild.
$15 million, or it's like, okay, you spent that much. Well, now studios are gonna be like, we expect that much back and then some. So it's like, all right, this 10-year game better, pay us back for that, or it was a complete loss. Whereas you have these AA and indie developers and whatever not, like
Rushing.
crank something out for Schedule One. How long did that take to make? I'm just curious if he ever.
I wonder if he actually
stated
talked about
that.
it. I'm gonna Google it real quick. He's probably talked about it.
Okay. Because I just feel like, not saying, you have some indie devs that can crank something out within, your 6 months to maybe, 2
Approximately
years or this or
2
that.
years.
Okay. Yeah. So, which is wild. And then granted, we might make fun of it and call it shovelware or this or that, but it's just like,
It's
dude,
such good shovelware.
I don't know if it's like age or anything like that with me. I think I'm definitely at a point where I can see where some people, in terms of a business decision, like it makes sense why Schedule One, it is what it is, just because it's the principle of like, just keep it simple. All you have to do, fucking keep it simple.
Yep.
Like none of these like, oh, it's got ray tracing in this game and it's got this and that. Like no, dude, here's the premise of the game. Like, does that, can you see that, happening? Yeah, I can. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Like,
It's only as complex as you want it to be.
yeah.
Like,
And then,
you can make it as easy as you want it to be.
yeah, and I don't remember how long it took the solo dev to make Stardew Valley, because obviously that was going to be a little bit more complicated.
And that's wild too. That he still updates that.
Not only updates it, but he's also working on the second one, or what, Chocolatier, or whatever it is
Which
called.
is wild. You know what? You know where I think these studios really fuck up.
Huh.
So, yeah, they kind of overbloat things, but I also think they fuck up the most in their marketing scheme. They pay too much in marketing. They should only have the big game events.
Let the people do it.
Yes. They shouldn't be paying all these big names to play their games. Recently, I can't remember what game it was, but they had a marketing budget of $1 million, and they like split it amongst X amount of streamers to get X amount of eyes on it. I'm like, guys, if they're gamers, they're watching the game events, they're watching the game awards, they're watching the Xbox presents, the PlayStation presents, the Nintendo Directs. Like, you don't need to pay these people. And I mean, I'm not saying don't pay these people. I think sponsors are great, but I think that's where they're dumping too much money. And I think they think that these people are worth more money than they really are. I haven't bought a game because I've seen somebody play it. Besides like Schedule One, actually.
Fucking same. Because not only that, I feel like, especially if it's single player ish, I feel like if I watch someone long enough, it, like you said, you kind of go through the emotions of the story, kind of still.
I gotta buy
see
it.
what happens, and you're like, oh, sweet. I kind of went through that with them. So,
I beat it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. It's not really waste time. It's like, I'm not gonna put the, let's say, 20 to 30 hours into it when I've already done that through the stream itself, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I fully agree.
To kind of go on top of that, though, again, we'll pivot this into more the Xbox updates, in a sense.
All right.
But
these are fantastic. I'm super happy about these.
Let's see. Oh, let's just do this one too. But no, to pivot into that. So for an example, Oblivion got shadow dropped. Well, more shadow dropped personally if you weren't like within the leaks, in my opinion. I feel like if you're in the weeds of it, you kind of knew. that it
Mhm.
was coming at least, so you weren't too shocked by it. But in terms of the marketing, I would love to see. There's like I'm almost worried about it, but at the same time, it was cool as what happened. So, Expedition 33.
Oh my
Um,
god.
that game gets released the same week.
It was last week, yeah. It was
Yeah, so
was it
about the
Tuesday last
same.
week?
I think so, but roughly within a very very close window, being like two RPGs within each other. And it's just like, Xbox, why would you shadow drop Oblivion, and then also, kind of right on top of that game, are you trying to, like, kill your own? It's not, they don't own it, obviously it's on a bunch of other systems, but it's
Mhm.
like, were you trying to kill momentum or something like that? But luckily, I was reading some articles that it obviously didn't kill momentum, just because people were able to play both, get what they wanted to out of both. And then Expedition 33 just fucking crushed it. So it's obviously on my play later list for Game Pass. Um, but at the same time, that kind of goes hand in hand with, I think, your marketing that you were talking about, because I don't think, because specifically, so here's an example. As of now, because it's about 2 weeks out,
Mhm.
I've seen nothing but Doom trailers.
Mhm.
Like every so often, I've seen a Doom trailer. So it's marketing for that game coming up.
Yep.
Oblivion was shadow drop, so obviously that didn't get any marketing. But in terms of 33, I didn't see that get marketed at all. Really,
I
I don't
I
think
I,
anything.
I didn't even know it was coming until I tapped on Moist Critical's stream and he
Yeah,
was about to play it. And I was like, "Whoa,
yeah.
cool."
So that, I think, I almost feel like, yeah, kind of let the people do. You can spend a little bit of it just so you can kind of
Oh yeah.
get the feelers out there to, like, maybe the niche gaming
But
crowd who's gonna
if you,
pay attention to this stuff.
if you're going to
But
do that though, do it to people that generally play that type of game.
yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes, yes.
like
Your market, yeah,
when I see somebody, like, no offense, but when I see like somebody like Ludwig or Valkyrie or Fuseli getting sponsored by like an FPS shooter or an extraction shooter, I'm like,
yeah.
you
Wrong
play
audience.
party games. You play
Yeah,
party animals and like Feather Party.
Smash, and
Yeah, I don't like I
I don't associate you with that. Gotcha. Yeah,
yeah, well, and you're just kind of a bad example of knowing what a good version of this game is because you don't play these.
true.
You know what I
Can't
mean?
speak on it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So if you're gonna market that way, definitely do it to people that actually play that fucking game or that kind of game.
yeah.
No offense, I love them as streamers. I watch them all the time, but it's just
No, it makes sense. Yeah,
it's just
it's
not
like
the
your whole,
right
like,
crowd.
Raid Shadow Legends. It's
Hmm.
like, dude,
Yeah,
even as small time YouTuber, I don't think I could. Honestly, with myself, I don't think I could take that.
it
Pay of
depends on what the
whatever it
bag
might be.
is.
Oh, I know. Everyone's
Depends
got
on
their
what the
price. That's
bag
the
is,
hard.
you know.
That's the hard. That's the hard
But
part.
I'm also
But
not
it's just
telling
like,
I'm not telling you to turn it down though. I'm telling them to not even offer it to you. Like
yeah,
that,
true.
you know what I mean? Like you should
Yeah,
take
yeah.
it,
It's
of
not.
course.
It's not their fault. Yeah,
No, it's not their fault at all. They should take the
it's
bag.
the marketing departments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't gonna, in terms of the, what is it? Because they're always worried about conversion rates.
Yeah.
So it's like, this
Uh,
isn't gonna convert anything. Like,
what is it? There's an abbreviation for it. I'll think of it. It's like NPR or NCR or whatever, my click through rate, blah blah blah.
yeah, yeah. How many people are actually gonna get that?
But on another note, this controller looks sick.
No, yeah, they freaking killed it. It is impressive though that, granted, you do have the Xbox Series X Halo Edition, and that one is
Mhm.
actually like the painted stars and whatever. Not. I kind of hope they do both. I hope they don't just kind of fully go into these wraps. In my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost a little sad if they just
It feels
go
cheap.
with this down the road. Yeah, it feels cheaper because
Mhm.
I want to. They did the same thing with Starfield even. I'm not
Oh,
mistaken. They had a wrap on that as well. I don't think that was like, I say this hand painted or whatever not. So it
machine
doesn't feel
painted or
as
whatever.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't feel as
Custom.
custom and personal, honestly. The wrap looks dope. You're not gonna tell from 10 feet away on your damn couch or something like that. But I don't know. Still, I think it's a cooler collector's item. Which kind of on a random tangent too.
Doesn't feel as
I'd have to
real if
look
it's
it
just
up.
a sticker.
No, it feels like something D-Brand could easily get into and be like, here you
Yep.
go.
And
Which
actually,
it'd be
they
kinda
probably
funny if
will.
They did, but
They probably
yeah.
will. Dark Plates, baby. Dark Plates 2.0 for the Xbox.
But
Anyway, side tangent.
well, yeah, I'd have to pull up the link because I don't know exactly what outlet said this. Obviously, with the Switch 2 coming around the corner, literally within close to a month here, GameStop was doing a promotion for, I want to say it was an Xbox Series X, and I want to say you could get about like, god damn, it was like $300 or something for Series X.
Wait,
It might have been more than that.
that's
That
how
could
much
have been
they're
crazy.
giving you?
Yes.
Wow.
And
GameStop.
I was like, yeah, I was like, wow, okay, that's a decent trade in because it's like, then at that point, your Switch, let's say your Switch 2 becomes, 100 something. So,
yeah, that ain't bad.
no. Well, because not just that, I'm just like, if you already have, and let's say this, you have an Xbox Series X because you got it early in its life cycle. And you're like, all right, now I don't really need as much because everything I play is on my already owned PC.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's just get the Switch 2 for, $150 or something like that. Then there you go. So,
Okay.
but,
GameStop. I wonder how much
yeah.
how much you guys are hurting. Seems like you guys need money.
Oh, yeah.
They're fucking so broke.
Yeah, because speaking of money and people buying consoles, which would be recommended you do so now, I guess, if you want one, which will be very interesting during the holiday season this year. I also did see someone's tweet about like, oh, I was already gonna buy a console because GTA 6 and blah blah blah. So they're like, well, this fucking pushed me over to actually buy it now, just because other than that, they really they're not gonna wait just because of freaking these price increases, which I do not know if, does it say when they will hit? That's the hard part.
I don't know. I don't have that link actually.
It just shows the price increases. It does not. But I will say the biggest benefit of this whole thing, though, is that it says at this time, Xbox Game Pass subscriptions are not going up, which is probably the biggest fucking hallelujah thing in this whole article, in my opinion.
Yes, because that is actually what's worth the money.
Yeah, I think they had I want to say a 5% increase year over year for
in Game Pass
subscription. Yeah, I think for subscriptions. I could be wrong. I'd have to.
That's good.
Or a quarter. I think it was Q3.
That's good. That'll keep it.
Q3 reports. Let's see.
That'll keep it going. That's all we need. Do you have Game Pass right now?
Oh yeah.
Fucking A.
There's too many things on there where I could easily be like, all right, because right now I'm going through Indiana Jones right now.
How you liking
like
it?
I said, it's not too bad. It's different than Uncharted and Tomb Raider, which is nice. It is very more like you're playing the movies than you are playing like a separate game, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Feels like you're in the movie.
It is very more. There's very much more. God, what would it be called? Like cinematic trailers in a sense in there.
Oh, just cinematics
like
in general.
There we go.
Yeah, cutscenes.
Yeah, cutscenes. Yeah, there's way more of those than there would be typically in any other like Uncharted or anything like that. So
I hear it's really pretty though. Is it really pretty?
Yeah, it is really good.
Let's go.
Like in terms of looks,
graphical,
I even have it
fidelity.
Yeah, I cranked it to like even medium, and it's just fine. So
damn. On the HT PC?
Yeah.
Nice. Still running hot?
Oh yeah, she's toasty. I even fucking undervolted it just to lower it down just a bit, but obviously she's still pretty hot on said games. So it doesn't crash the system. I will say that. So I'm like, until it fucking I was like, until it does that and gives me a real problem, then I'm just like, you know what? As long as it's playing,
Dude,
I think I'll be good.
Ride her till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. What's the other thing you could do? You could get I don't know, just ride her till the wheels fall off is what I'd do. I just run it till she burns.
If I were to do anything, like you said, because I'm assuming at that point, if it does, like, let's say it does, like, keep freaking out because of temperature wise, whatever not, does that just affect the CPU on that motherboard, or does it fuck with the RAM and shit at all?
No, everything else should be fine.
Voltage out to the okay.
Yeah. It would just burn up the CPU most likely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because in that case, I would just get a fucking new board and CPU combo. So.
You might actually just be able to buy like the mounting hardware actually.
No, really?
For the board, because yeah, most likely that just got taken off.
Oh, okay.
And
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because like when you get it closer, that little latch, you know what I mean? The whole like latch and flap thing that holds it in generally has to be taken off to put the cooler on. So now it's just, you know, free bond
flush with it.
Yeah, like no underwear CPU, and then you throw the cooler on.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Xbox is also raising their game price to $80.
Yeah. PlayStation raised their consoles to, are they up at 600 like the Series X as well? I didn't look at what the prices were per se.
Yeah, I was trying to find a link for it, but their PlayStation is increasing their console price, and it's due to the tariffs.
Yay, we did it. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Buy shit now, I guess, which is so weird to say because it's like you're so concerned about money, but then it like forces your hand to buy something that you maybe not have, you know, you don't want to buy just yet, but you're forced to.
Oh, I guess PlayStation games and PS5 price increase are plausible, but they haven't been confirmed, it looks like.
Okay. Yeah, because I know what they were going up in Japan. I think that's what they were saying.
Okay. This news from Xbox. Oh yeah, PlayStation announced it was increasing the price of its digital PS5 console in the UK, Europe, and Australia.
Interesting. Controllers and everything too now. Okay.
Japan. Yes, Sony raised the price of the PS5. Standard PS5 is now $551. Digital. Whoa.
Dude, Australians must just get freaking so. I'd get so pissed off if I was. I don't even think I'd be a gamer if I was over there.
Australians get boned, bro.
Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Black Special Edition. Over $1,000.
Dude, you're right.
Lord.
Sony hikes the PlayStation 5 price by 25% as Trump tariffs bite in Japan.
Japan, okay. But there's no mention of them doing an increase to their games, though, correct?
No.
Okay.
Oh my God!
This might be
the standard PS5 in Japan and Australia is $830.
Yeah, no. At that point, I wouldn't be a gamer, or at least a console gamer.
Digital version will go to $750. Dude, I know their PC parts are very expensive too.
Well, yeah, I'm just at this point. I would assume all technologies are. So you literally have one choice to pick if you're that dedicated for your gaming hardware. What are you picking? I don't know how it wouldn't be a PC.
It would have to be a
bias,
PC,
but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, because let's see here, Xbox. They didn't obviously because they only have control of these. so curious how third party is gonna respond to this. But Xbox first party games hitting $80 though.
That's wild.
So
Whose fault is it?
um,
Is it Rockstar's fault or is it Nintendo's fault?
or caveat to all that, is it our fault?
I don't think it's our fault. Because they've been wanting to do this for a while. You know they have.
I know,
But
yeah,
someone
yeah.
just
Which kinda
broke
goes
the
back to-
dam.
Yeah, they broke the seal, and you know what happens when you break the seal?
Everybody's
Everyone just
pissing.
follows suit. Yeah, everyone's pissing on everything.
Yep, everyone's
Um,
fucking pissing, man.
Oh man, I think it'll work because again, that comes back to being our fault because I think it'll work. People are just gonna buy into it no matter what.
People are gonna buy Game Pass, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Oh, it's gonna fucking shove people that Game Pass. Are you kidding me?
Mhm,
Good
mhm.
lord, I want to see the year over year or quarter or whatever not for
Which is honestly
Game
just a
Pass
win-win.
then.
Really. Because the more
Yeah, 'cause
people
the-
we get in Game Pass, the longer Game Pass gets to stick around.
Whoa. So I just thought about this. I always forget that I'm like thinking Xbox first party games hitting $80. Okay, whatever. If you have an Xbox and you, let's say, buy Call of Duty by itself or, Overwatch or Halo or whatever, all these Xbox owns games at this point, $80.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. All right, I'm going to go to Game Pass. I'm going to spend $10. All good. Now, Forza and Indiana Jones and all this other shit just got ported over to PlayStation. That's technically an Xbox first party game, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, PlayStation ponies, pay up.
$80.
they just
Let's
they
go.
they just increased it on the Sony side, if anything.
Let's
They
go.
didn't increase it for the. Oh.
Dude, it's gonna make all the Sony gamers scream for Game Pass on the PlayStation. Oh my god.
God. Oh, they won't scream for it because they got their God of Wars and all these fantastic single
No,
Spider-Mans
dude,
and all
you
these
know
things.
they'll want Game Pass. You know it. Oh,
Oh man,
bro.
dude.
That's so funny. That's actually funny. The
Like-
only people getting shafted are the PlayStation people. Oh,
Yep.
Nintendo.
that Nintendo doesn't even get these games half the time,
That
which I'm
is
very
true.
curious. Which I'm very curious how the Switch 2 is going to handle some of these things because I'm starting to hear when these games are coming out now, where it's like, oh yeah, it's Switch 2 compatible now, which kind of makes sense because it's Xbox One / PS4 hardware to the point. I think.
Yeah.
But
Is
my
it
God,
that's
though.
gonna run like shit.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it runs. Yeah.
Yeah.
They still got. I'm still curious how Legacy will run on that console, but
I guess they got Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch now.
yeah, just because you have it on there, like you said, doesn't run.
Doesn't
well.
mean you want it. It doesn't mean you want it at all.
But no, this is gonna push people to. Let's see, $80, bro. You're paying. That's 8 months worth of Game Pass right there.
Yep.
Like, come on now. Like, whether you're a parent, whether you're a college kid, whether you're just freaking one little gamer, like, come on now.
Come to
Your
Game
money's
Pass.
your money's gonna spread so much further in Game Pass. It's ridiculous to the point
Yep.
where, like, honestly, people are gonna be asking, like, bro, are you fucking a shill for Xbox when it comes to this? Are you just gonna be like, are you sponsored? Like, I wish at this point because I'd probably get codes for this crap and then I would
Yeah.
have to pay for it. But
Nah.
uh,
But I would tell you
Game
right
Pass
now.
is $20 now. Is it though? Is it on console or is it $20 for Ultimate there VR? I'm curious. It's on PC. I think
Or
with
is-
tax and everything.
I think
it's
Ultimate Game
13,
Pass
I
is
will say that.
$20.
Yeah.
I'm
So I
gonna
know they
check
got
that out.
they got their tiers and whatnot. I can't remember what their tier pricing is. But also they did say this. I will give them credit because I don't. PlayStation, I know for a fact, when and if they do this, they probably won't say the same thing. But that $80 when you buy their first party game on Xbox, you will be able to play it anywhere. So you can play it on the PC, you can play it on your console.
So Game Pass Ultimate is $19.99. So that's Game Pass PC and console. And
Yeah, yeah.
cloud.
Oh, cloud, I forget about that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Which supposedly the cloud services are actually killing it. Like,
Bro.
even on the Xbox One.
The cloud's gotten a lot better. Is it good?
So-
No, but it's better.
Yeah, which I'm kind of glad that Xbox is kind of not hyping that up as much, just
Hmm.
because don't do it until it literally don't pull a Stadia and don't market the crap out of it until it's ready,
Hmm.
or to a point where it's like comparable, where someone might not know on the streets, where you have a local thing and one's playing on the cloud, and be like, "Can you tell me the difference?" Be like,
I
"No."
agree.
So
I agree.
keep it under wraps, but keep it going, because that just not only that, it kind of fits their whole motto of, even Xbox One players being able to play something that's typically played on the Series X or something. So
I don't know if I ever told you this, but I played through all of Halo 1 on my phone through cloud.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it
Oh
did
yeah,
pretty
and I
well.
tried freaking
Did all right.
multiplayer.
Yeah, you I didn't expect that to do very well.
I didn't get lashed in SWAT.
That's a W. That's a huge W.
Yeah, I really wanted to type it in chat on on the game and be like, "Yo, bro, you got dominated by a guy and playing on the cloud. How's it feel?"
You got
I
shitted
figured
on
I
by a
figured
cloud
SWAT
gamer.
because it'd be in a weird way, it would be the easiest thing to do, because I just have to aim for the head and hope to hit it, kind of thing, compared to
Yep.
trying to stay on someone for so long in Team Slayer. But Ultimate, let's say Ultimate, but doesn't have the best games. I think they've gotten better with PC slash um, console releases at the same exact time now, where it's not so separated. So
For Xbox?
honestly, if I were to, yeah,
Isn't it all day one? I haven't had an issue.
yeah. I want to say even like last year, it was some of these things were, well, especially the third party things, they would only release on the console for some reason, and then
Oh, at
maybe come to the
first.
PC
Yeah.
at some point. But nowadays, yeah, a lot of these things are coming to PC Game Pass,
Right away.
no problem.
Hmm.
Yeah. So in terms of the money, I don't spend the 20. I'd say just stick it to one. Because I don't know.
I spent the 20 for a while because I thought I'd
Yeah,
use
let
my
me hear
console.
Okay,
Didn't
yeah.
use my
No.
console. I don't use
Is that
my
because
console.
of a two-room situation in a sense, or?
I just I don't know. I just if
'Cause
I want to, it really depends on the game whether I sit at my TV and
Yeah.
play or not.
'Cause I'm trying to find the scenario where that would be a thing.
Where you pay for the 20?
Because, well, you pay for the 20, not just that, but it's like you play anywhere, which is nice. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's more of a play cloud mobile versus when you're at home, you're gonna only pick one typically. You're not, unless I'm like not thinking about someone taking the TV and you're like, all right, let me just go play in this other room,
I see.
which is
Where you can
another.
jump to a different.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
but because it's like, let's say your wife or someone else is like, hey, can I watch my show on the TV out here? And be like, oh yeah,
I
sure.
think
And then you just go to your desk or something and play on the computer.
I'm pretty
But
sure the whole reason I was paying for the 20 originally was because I had Game Pass on the console. And then I think it was it back in 2022 when they announced Game Pass for PC, or 2023? I think it was 2022. And I signed up for it that day. And so I think I just kind of like, I signed up for Game Pass for console and PC that day. And it just kind of carried over.
okay.
I'm pretty sure that's how that worked. And then I never really thought about it until my wife got laid off, and then I downgraded.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, VR saying I was trying to figure out if Black Ops 6 was on the regular Game Pass and I couldn't find it before buying and didn't want to pay $10 and not get the game I wanted and needed it to play online, I thought. The base version, like the typical whatever, $10, you can play online with whether it be console or the PC version of it. So yeah, that might just be marketing being marketing in terms of like, yo, you're gonna need the ultimate to play this game. Like, or it might be the first thing, I guess, like in your vision that shows up. Like, oh, people want to play Black Ops. Let's go ahead and kind of showcase the highest tier of that. That way, you have some people that might click on, like, hey, I want to play that game. All right, buy now. So
rather than the other option.
Scroll down and just pay the single console or whatever. Not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but
Cool though.
No, yeah.
I
Game
don't.
Pass is gonna win here.
Yeah, I don't feel good about the $80 prices, but I kind of feel all right about it because of Game Pass.
Yep. And speaking of higher prices on stuff, because my money is this game's still charging $100. But let's go right into the Grand Theft Auto delay, shall we? All right.
Rockstar.
Yeah,
on
Grand
good
Theft
old
Auto
X.
6 is now set to release on May 26, 2026, which I'm actually surprised that they hey, peace out, VR. I'm surprised they actually gave us a date.
Have a good night.
Honestly. Which
Yeah,
is
they actually gave us
nice
a
that they
concrete
gave us a
date.
clear one. Yeah. So which is good for other games because it's like, all right, you guys can get the hell out of the way.
Get the hell out the way out of May. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I know a lot of games stack. I want to say if they're gonna go in spring,
Summer,
or like early spring, whatever, not they usually stack in February for the most part. They have for the last few years. So I'd be kind of curious. My guess is they're gonna do the same thing this next year. Yeah, let's see. We're very sorry. Which every time I read that as a statement, I always think of South Park. This is later than you expected. Interest and excitement surrounding a new GTA has been truly humbling for our entire team. Obviously, people just want to spend their money on shark cards.
Yep.
We want to thank you for your support and your patience as we work to finish the game. With every game we have released, the goal has always been to try and exceed your expectations. GTA 6 is no exception. We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver at the level of quality you expect and deserve. More information soon. So my guess is that another trailer of this is going to get shown at the Game Awards. Is what
probably.
I'm thinking in terms of if you're trying to build the hype up again at the right window. I would think the Game Awards.
Yeah, that would be my guess too.
But I'd be kind of curious because at that point, well, yeah, I guess GTA would probably. They wouldn't have to technically, because didn't it drop on like YouTube basically?
The last trailer?
This last one? Yeah.
It got leaked
at that
too,
point,
didn't it?
Yeah, well, it got leaked like hours or a day or so before
GTA on
GTA was supposed to drop it. Yeah, which then GTA, or I guess Rockstar, was like, fuck this. We want all those views. So they just like, here you go.
And you know what? Maybe a hot take, but I'm all right with the delay.
Oh, easily.
I'm hoping that it's more of like a delay so they don't want to burn out their developers over a delay of like they're going to be crunching for a year and a half straight or a year straight.
You're living at the office.
Yeah. I hope it's more of like we can release this and all still have really good lives.
Dude, 100% agree. Not only that, because
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
When the hell was when was GTA 5 released? Good lord, it's been on fucking 3 consoles basically. But
was it
2013?
Yeah, okay, 12 years ago. It'll be 13 by the time.
We've waited this long. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. What's another year?
I'm sorry, but can we not wait another year? Not only that, but speaking from the PC side of it, that's another fucking 3 years.
That is true. That is true. You know, the thing
so it's like, okay.
the thing is, dude, like I'm sure you watched it too, but I just every time I hear about a delay and I think of I'm sure you watched it. It was the Halo documentary on Halo 2 and how the developers were crunching at the office so they didn't have to do a major or a delay. And how they all just hated their fucking life. And it's like, it just kind of makes me feel bad. You know what I mean?
Well, there's that. And then there's like, was it Halo 2 or Halo 1? Because at that point, that was when like live demos were a thing. And they're like, dude, there was a part in this game where we just couldn't fucking do it. Like, it just wasn't working out.
That was Halo 2.
Yeah. And they're like, this was not working out. And it's like, all right, Bill Gates is on stage. Here we go. Like, all right. And then, being in the rooms of like, hence why they have that cut content that I think we're familiar with in terms of it being cut. I don't know if we know the exact details per se, but like, it's like, dude, you have to focus on certain things to get this shit out the door because especially back then, in terms of like what happened with Halo Infinite versus Halo 2, like we're not. There's no such thing as delays. Like,
Yep.
this is a launch title.
You just did
this
it.
is a launch title. Like,
Yeah. Because
so,
that was also a time of midnight releases and parties.
Yep.
And when the date's announced, you're releasing the game.
Yep. Whether
Yeah.
you like it or not, which is so crazy to think about because
It really is.
there was no day one patch. The way it ships
Yeah.
is the way it fucking ships.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit.
I remember for Halo 2 specifically, for the game to get patched, you had to buy the map pack on the disc, and it had an update
God.
in the map pack disc. Do you remember that?
Oh my god, I don't. That's funny though.
Yeah. So whenever I hear about delays, I'm always more than okay with it. Mainly for
You
that
don't
reason.
want a cyberpunk.
Yeah. Hopefully this doesn't end up like a. Okay. I'm not. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it because I'm not gonna. Halo Infinite turned out much better after its delay, but it was still not very good.
It is, but I don't think any company would want bad press at the start and then hope it ramps.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna stick to that one title, which people probably, even with this whole marathon versus arc thing, are probably kind of doing it right now. Honestly,
I wonder if people still talk about Craig.
Probably the whole meme and whatever not. Like, that's the funniest thing with all like everything on YouTube and this directs and this is and that is like, all right, what can I find a meme out of this? It's either this is fucking rad and super cool, or we're gonna make fun of it and just be like,
this is
fuck
mid.
This game, we're not playing it. Yeah. So no, yeah, take their time. What's his name? Jason Schreier, I believe is the name.
Mm-hmm.
He's typically pretty on top of it in terms of when it comes to crunch and all that other crap, whatever not. And he hasn't heard, when I was scrolling today on Blue Sky, he hasn't heard of anything going on for the most part. So
that's good.
Seems like they're being treated well.
I understand like a couple late nights, you know what I mean? Fuck, I have that now, but like have to do it for like 3 months straight, bro. Like, oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Nobody's taking time off. Yeah. That kind of thing.
I just hope this isn't a Halo Infinite delay and it actually turns out to be positive.
I'm thinking it will be, because honestly, in terms of GTA 5, even when that released without the online capability, that's the hard part with this game too, is that they don't get the chance to have a beta or an alpha to test their server load. Oh,
they actually don't. It's online right away.
Yeah, well, it'll be for this one. GTA 5 did not have online to start.
No.
Because even that was buggy as hell, even though they gave that. I think it released like a month after it came out.
They might do that, bro. Because they did that with Red Dead too, did they not?
Maybe.
I think they did that with Red Dead too.
I don't know why they would delay it this time around though, because shark cards are their fucking moneymaker.
Yeah. Interesting. That is an interesting thought.
Because my guess is, especially for like your RP people out there on Twitch and whatever not, is they're gonna want to hop into online before they might not even touch single player, honestly.
Well, they're not gonna be able to RP for like at least 2-3 years after the game releases.
Okay.
Because you gotta like, someone's gotta like build the
coded mod.
Yeah, build the server. You know what I mean?
Okay. Huh. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't mind the online being
delayed.
Yeah, just because then at that point you're trying to get people used to the game, which then they kind of do have to play the single player.
I do see. I do know that a few of the RP streamers that I would watch are gonna play the single player. They've said it multiple times.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
They're not like big players in the RP scene, but they did say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Totally okay with this.
Yeah. Everyone's not going to release their games in May now. That's for sure. In 2026.
There goes my birthday. Fuck.
at the same, not even your birthday gets covered up by GTA 6.
It really does.
Happy GTA 6
No, you
day.
know what they'll do? You know what they'll do? They'll let you play GTA 6 on my birthday
Oh,
for
God.
$200.
Oh, dude, you know oh my God, this
You
would be
know
the
that's
game that
happening.
could just, you know,
Yeah.
this would be the game that could easily get away with some
With
bullshit in terms
no
of like, oh, you could,
online.
yeah,
You're
like
literally
you could play early
single
on this
player
one.
game for $200.
Oh my God.
Oh, that hurts.
And then $300 is collector's edition. Like,
Well, you get a new hairstyle and 2 new skins.
like
Oh
this would
my
be the
God.
game to just open people's wallets up for sure, though.
Do you think they can get away
Jesus.
with that for real? Like, okay, say
For
that
200?
they say well, okay, yeah, say that they have no online. Online won't be around for a month. All you're getting is the single player, and you can play it 5 days early for an extra $100. Saying that it is gonna cost $100. So
I
it'd
say
be,
no for myself, but I guarantee there's people out there that would do it.
you think so? Oh my God.
Yeah. You
What?
throw in the right amount of fucking collector's shit in there, and people would eat that up.
Bro, I couldn't do that. Not for a single
I know.
player.
I'm
like,
saying, yeah, for people
Oof.
like us, I don't think so. But I'm always going back to whether it be these content creators that get sponsorships to kind of have that money already in their pocket, or
yeah.
the up and coming content creators or whatever not who kind of want to get on the scene, so they have to make those what they consider
Sacrifice.
investments.
Yeah.
And so they end up spending that because then technically that's eyeballs 5 days before, let's say, your competition
Yeah.
or somebody else, basically.
I guess that
But
makes
it's just
sense.
like, but at the same time, I also do see in the fact I could see some, I'd call them, I guess, normies, whatever not, buying that as well. Honestly,
I you know what? And honestly, they don't lose. It's not like they lose anything if a bunch of people don't buy it. You know what I mean? So
no, yeah, because they're just all right.
why
whatever.
wouldn't you do that? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's like one of those things like, oh, we just didn't ask, even though our people would have paid $100 more. So it's like, yeah, why don't you do it? And then, if they don't, then they paid the base price of what
5
people are
days later.
thinking, maybe being $100 or something. But like, yeah,
That's wild. You're so right too, because I can think of at least 5 people that five content creators that would buy it, at least.
yeah. No one is personally forcing your hand to grab your credit card or hit, purchase now. But if you're, that's why it works. If you're tempting people's patience though,
Mhm.
and they've already waited,
It's FOMO.
good Lord, literally some games are doing remasters at almost like a 10-year point, whereas GTA is just releasing the next one at a 9-year point at this
Yeah.
at this time in its life. And yeah, dude, FOMO is a fucking moneymaker,
It really is.
which is hilarious because I'm thinking of all these videos, especially with Expedition 33 popping off right now.
Are you gonna play
In
it?
any other game. Yeah, eventually. Which
Me
is
too.
kind of, I'll play it because combat actually seems kind of cool.
It
like
looks
I'm
really
not really
cool.
into the Final Fantasy kind of turn-based
Well, it's almost
kind of shit, but
Persona
this one looks
is.
dope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for me though, I didn't want to play or even try to get into Persona because supposedly that game's like fucking umpteen hours long,
It is.
and that's not even like completion status. That's just to fucking go through the storyline.
Just to beat the
Whereas-
story, yeah.
Yeah, Expedition 33, I think is 30 hours or so,
I think it's
whatever it
pretty
is.
reasonable. I think it's
Yeah. Which
it's nowhere in like the 60s to 80s.
it's up there if you want to be a completionist. I think is what I've.
That
been
ain't
told,
me.
or what I've
That
heard.
ain't
No,
me.
that ain't me.
I ain't no trophy hunter.
No, in terms of my life right now, where I'm at, I think even going forward, honestly, a 30-hour game is it's almost hitting my max. Honestly,
It really is for my like attention
So.
span even.
But yeah, so that's on my playlist. But it's kind of funny because I'm almost treating games and movies as the same thing in terms of when they come out, you do not have to play them within the peak window, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
You don't have to play them within the week they come out, the month they come out, whatever. Not if a good game is a fucking good game, it ain't fucking changing.
It's still gonna
If
be
a
a good
movie,
game.
if a movie's a good movie, bro, there's so many movies I haven't watched that came out when I was born, and this and that, and then I,
Mhm.
you know, if they're good movies, they're good movies. Like you can watch them at any point in your lifetime.
Yeah.
They're not changing. So it's like
I
I'll get to 33. I'll do this. Like,
You know what's crazy
but,
is I used to be, especially with our current setup, I used to be watch the movie as soon as I can get my hands on it.
yeah.
I'm so far behind on movies that I want to watch. I haven't watched a movie that is like a new movie. The most recent movie I watched was from 2019, and I have like movies that I really want to watch that were released like this year.
Oh shit. Okay.
Like I don't know. Do you still watch the Marvel movies?
Nah, the last one I watched was the Captain America one, just because I was like, let me kind of catch up on it.
Uh-huh.
There's one that came out recently, and I cannot remember it for the sake of my life right now, but it's got decent reviews that I'll have to look into
Oh,
eventually.
yeah. I'll get that eventually. I know what
Yeah,
you're
I
talking
can't
about.
remember what it's called.
Thunder something.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I
But
haven't watched a Marvel movie since what was the last was it Thor? For the Hulk went?
oh yeah, that's Thor. Yeah,
I'm like 4 behind. And I used to watch them like the week of.
yeah. Uh, in a way, though, too, I almost feel like that's still almost a good thing, though, too, because now when you, let's say, watch something that's not of the week, I guess, or play something, then that
Mhm.
kind of just means that like you have that intent behind it. Be like, this is what I want to do, not because I have to do it to stay
Oh,
up to date, if that makes sense.
so it doesn't feel like a chore.
Yeah, because
I
as
also
soon as I get in the mindset of I need to play this or I need to watch this, it's like if I really want to do it, then it's like no,
I
no, no, no.
also think I had a higher scare of spoilers like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't know how it would
True.
change. I feel like you can get more spoilers now, but maybe it's just like the way my YouTube algorithm's set up. I don't really get that kind of stuff anymore.
True. Yeah, yeah. Because I will say, especially with YouTube,
Hmm.
if you watch one thing, it then like sprouts that into like here's 3 other like topics that surround that or
About
whatever
it.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, YouTube is actually decent about if you scroll past those kind of things for let's say the last past 2 days or whatever,
Hmm.
it slowly you see it kind of slowly just restrict back into itself where it's like all right,
Yeah.
it doesn't recommend me this shit anymore, so I don't go down this rabbit hole. But
So wild enough, right? And I've like been seeing this play out firsthand, like as of the last few days. I started watching. Wow, we're on stuff we're watching right now. This is crazy. But I started watching Sons of Anarchy because. Do you know what Sons of Anarchy is, by the way? The
yeah,
TV.
motorcycle gang.
Yeah, yeah. So I started watching it because a YouTube short offered it to me, and I watched it. And I watched the YouTube short. Now the last like 3 days, I'm getting so many shorts for Sons of Anarchy. It's crazy, and it had never been a thing before. I had never gotten one, and all
Yeah.
these shorts are like years old. So I'm, just, it's just amazing how fast it works and how like almost instantaneous.
Which is crazy too, because like I wonder if my guess is that were you scrolling through and it happened, or did you
Yes,
click on
scrolled
it?
through and then I stopped because it's just it's something I used to watch. I never finished the show, and I was like, oh
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, this is a cool part. And then I scrolled down a little bit more. It played another one. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. And so then I decided to get the show, and later that night I started watching it. And now the last 3 days I'm at work, it keeps offering them to me, and I've watched a few, but I skipped some
Yeah.
because I'm like, these are spoilers. I need to, you need to not serve me
Oh,
this right
gotcha,
now.
yeah. No, that makes sense. Just because I guarantee, especially in their algorithm, it probably as soon as it notices you pause for 3 seconds, whatever not, it probably is just putting a fucking weight on that right there, and it's
It's
like, all right,
amazing how
let's.
fast it works.
Oh, I know. Well, not only
Yeah.
that, but I guarantee because you also watched it, and it's on your TV. Is it through Google TV?
Yeah.
So,
But does it know what it
uh,
is?
mm, maybe you had to search it up a bit.
Well,
Like
you
I
know what? Actually,
guarantee.
it definitely knows what it is because it is defined by Plex. So,
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean?
yep.
So,
They
that makes
have
sense.
their way. Hell, I clicked into a freaking like Mother's Day gift just like once off a freaking sponsorship thing, and now I start seeing it with those like on YouTube ads and shit. I'm
Oh,
like, good God,
yeah.
this
I
is
clicked
gonna
into
be a
that one
while.
heart thing that you like open up. I don't know if you've seen it, but I clicked into
No,
it.
I
It's
don't think
this
so.
heart that you open up and it like has like these roses and shit. And there's like a necklace. And I clicked on it and I was like, oh, this would be cool. I get them
Yep.
all the time now.
Now it's got you until that weeds itself out
Yeah,
eventually.
it's just wild how fast it works.
It's nuts. We're all just data. Which, speaking of data, Chrome possibly for sale.
Oh
Which I'd
boy.
be very curious to know how much they have to fucking shove money towards that to even buy it. Out of all the companies, though, who the hell would you want to buy Chrome, and who would be like your least, like,
Okay.
buy it?
Out of the three options that are being talked about right now,
Out of the three, and then if you have a curveball one in there.
hmm, who would I want to own it? Or who would I not want to own it? We'll start
They're
there.
both, yeah.
We'll start there. I think the person that would want to own it the least. Ooh, that's rough. So, what do they get with this? Do they get the search engine or do they just get the Chrome browser? I can't remember.
Ooh, let me see if it mentions that in here.
Because I remember that specifically OpenAI wanted Google's search engine and Google told them no because they have Gemini.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It doesn't really mention in here. Oh, wait.
No.
Leveraging
'cause at
Google's
the
search tech within ChatGPT. So the OpenAI execs want to had made a bid with Google regarding leveraging search, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't say that they're going to get that.
So is it more of an algorithm kind of thing? Because it says, for the Yahoo sake of it, adding Chrome, arguably the most important strategic player on the web, and estimating that Yahoo's search engine market share could jump into double digits. Well, I guess they're just buying the market share then. I don't think I don't know if they're getting anything special besides literally you're just getting what people use the most.
You know what's crazy is the only time I use Chrome is when we do this podcast. Other than that, I use Edge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I use
So that's
Edge
another
on
thing.
my laptop and
That's
work
another
laptop.
thing I was thinking of in terms of who the hell would be able to afford this. They mentioned Yahoo, which I'd be very curious to know what the hell they're thinking Chrome would be worth, because the only top companies, especially, would be like like Microsoft or something in terms of trillions of dollars. But I don't know what Chrome's value is.
I don't know what Yahoo's value is. How the fuck do they
Why
think
not?
they could afford it?
It's not even like Chrome.
That's like Ask
It's
Jeeves coming
all
up and
that.
being like, "Let me buy your Chrome."
Yeah, can I has it? Can I has it?
Come on.
Honestly, I think out of all these, I haven't messed with if I could fucking
Perplexity?
say it, Perplexity. Yeah, I haven't messed with that. I've heard it's
I'm not
good.
gonna lie.
I haven't heard bad things about it though. How about that?
I don't know what Perplexity is.
I think
Is it the
again, we're
image?
just kind of
Is it the image thing?
no. It's another AI thing. In terms of like, we're getting so saturated with this crap that it's almost hard to keep up with. Honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of AIs out there. They're all trying to eat us.
Yeah, in terms of OpenAI, though, I think that's my vote for my least favorite of if they were to buy Chrome.
I don't like OpenAI for other reasons.
Well, and they're
I think they're kind of shitty.
They're gonna try to make fucking their own like social network.
Yeah, I think they're kind of
Once I'm just
shitty.
like, bro, we don't need more of that shit.
Shitty people, at least. They were supposed to be open
Yeah.
source, and they were supposed to stay open source.
Now the fucking mighty fall. But
I think Yahoo would be the most interesting because it'd be crazy to see people with Ymail emails again.
oh good lord.
Or Yahoo
That
emails.
is true.
That'd be wild.
Well, and not just that, this would be Yahoo's, I think, third attempt at being able to buy something Google related.
I do think
And I say that because they had, I want to say, 2 attempts actually at buying YouTube when it was first a thing.
they had a shot to buy Google at $1 million.
Oh, was it Google itself? Okay.
Yeah, it was it a million or was it a billion? No, it was definitely not a billion. It was $1 million. It had to have been $1 million.
A million something, yeah. Sounds about right. But yeah, that's, which is wild to think about that now.
I was in like the 90s, wasn't it?
It was pretty early on, which we don't know if it would be the behemoth it is today kind of thing, but still.
That's back when I actually used Yahoo for answers.
Oh yeah, true.
Yahoo and Ask Jeeves. I actually did Ask Jeeves a few times. Do you remember Ask Jeeves?
I do briefly, and then I think the biggest thing out of that was your good old MSN Messenger and shit. Talked about having intent. You had to make sure where the hell you wanted to go online because it's like, all right, this is gonna take a hot few minutes.
Oh yeah, you had to know that you wanted to go there. Otherwise, you were gonna be waiting for a long time.
Yep.
I was always on Neopets.
Oh, good lord.
I tried to sign into my Neopets. Yeah.
Good old Flash games.
It still exists. I couldn't get in though. I don't remember what I signed up as. I think Yahoo would be the coolest. Just because it would be funny.
Well, they're not too AI focused.
The irony behind it. Yeah.
Which would be kind of nice, I guess, maybe, as long as they don't push something else out there, but that'd be kind of interesting.
So you know what I think? This is interesting. Do you think Google goes for the most money or what's best for them? Because those don't always go hand in hand.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because, for example, if they sell to OpenAI, that may kill Gemini. May not too.
Which they're not. Well,
may not.
Which they're not doing that. I think they go for a power move on this one in terms of like we sell. I don't know what the fine print is in terms of court hearings and blah blah blah, but I could see it to the point where. Let's say Yahoo comes to the table. They're like, hey, we want to buy it for this much, blah, blah, blah. And Google's like, okay, that's fine. But we get this percentage of whatever board members or this and that. Like, we still have some say, but we don't have majority, if that makes sense.
So you think that they won't have to cut entire ties?
I don't know. Again, I don't know what the legality of this whole thing is.
It's interesting. I'm still kind of.
Do they have to release the full reins or what?
I'm still kind of on the fence on whether this even goes through.
That's another thing, yeah, because the court can be a scary thing. But dude, you want to talk about loopholes and loopholes and loopholes these companies are able to make? It's ridiculous. Freaking speaking of like companies going through loopholes and everything, Spotify had it ready to go like day one because I guess Apple, I think starting today or recently.
Oh yeah, this is huge.
Had their whole market basically just kind of explode a little bit in terms of you can have third parties charge and get their revenue that way instead of going through Apple's 30% cut or whatever it is. And so Spotify had that ready to go on deck. So it's like, all right, here you go. So now people can pay Spotify directly their monthly fee instead of paying. Yeah, which makes it cheaper. I don't know how much it is, $2 maybe, but still,
it's like $2 or $3.
But it's still $2 that's yours instead of paying an extra fee on top of just signing up through the Apple App Store.
Huge win for not companies like
directly
Spotify.
Through, yeah. It was funny because on the comments of that, it's like, why don't you take those extra $2 and pay your artists? But
yeah, that's true.
So
Huge win
it's
for
always
companies not so much like Spotify or even Epic, the ones that fought them. A huge win for smaller app developers.
yeah.
Huge W for them. They're actually gonna, because for example, I don't know how much LTT you watch. Do you watch LTT ever?
Here and there.
Did
Here
you
and there,
know that they have a video hosting service?
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, they have a video hosting service called Floatplane, and you know, they're a large company compared to us, but they are a tiny company compared to like Spotify, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're like a freckle on Spotify's cheek, and
Yeah.
to host Floatplane on the app marketplace for Apple, it was very difficult. They had a lot of hoops to jump through, as well as the payment option. A lot of people didn't sign up because it was like $3 more, and yeah, they felt like it wasn't worth it. So this is a huge win for smaller developers like that.
Dope. Sick. Good. Which I'm assuming it's going to
W's.
trickle down to the Play Store if it's not already.
Yeah, I think so. I would think so. But
Yeah.
already Google, or well, not Google. Well, yeah, it is Google. They're a little bit more forgiving when it comes to that stuff already.
Yeah, they get their hand slapped so often that they're used to it at this point.
Yeah, they're like, fine, we'll bend over. Fuck.
Fine. Stop.
Sorry, we did everything right. Well, that's so wrong. They did not do everything right. I take that statement back.
They'll pay a fee, which is a smaller fee than what they actually earn, which is in itself already screwed up. But speaking of kind of the Play Store here, it kind of goes hand in hand with Google's prototype smart glasses for Android XR. So a couple of these photos here. Kind of just side by side a little bit.
Here we go.
So both these people on stage are wearing the smart glasses, which probably the most normal looking things I've seen. So your typical
So I don't know why.
Ray-Ban esque.
Real quick.
Yeah,
every once in a while your mic gets really quiet. And all of a sudden it just back up.
It might just be the noise gate, I guess.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if it was
in terms of it cutting in and cutting out when I pause or whatever shit.
Sorry about that. Anyway.
Oh no, you're good. It's always good to know. But no, yeah, so it kind of shows it here. So she's able to see. It's only in one lens in terms of when you're talking to Gemini. You know, what am I looking at? What does this do? What kind of direction should I take? This, and that. It kind of shows a map view there if needed, whether it be turn by turn or a little satellite view. But obviously no prices, anything like that. It's just a straight up demo, which kind of ties into coming up this month. There's supposed to be a mini, Android IO or something like that. They're doing their own little, like YouTube-esque like directive kind of thing. But ahead of
is it Android or is it Google I/O?
It's Google. Sorry, Google I/O.
Yeah, because normally they show off the Pixel stuff too, don't they?
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious how they're gonna separate. You know, keep hype from one thing and hype for the other. How that's gonna work out if they turn it into more of one's a hardware show and one's a software show, maybe. Just because supposedly that these are gonna be getting shown off a little bit more in depth at one of these shows. It seems like. Also,
They look nice.
Probably these are probably the smartest things in terms of how they're rolling this out. These glasses are instantly going to be able to, whatever app is on the Play Store, it will work on these glasses. So in terms of your content, here you go. If you have it on your phone, you have it on your glasses. So they're taking the smartwatch approach to these glasses comparative to the Meta Ray-Bans, which have cameras on them, which I don't believe these glasses have the cameras on them. It's more of you see the projection and that's about it. Actually no, they do have them because obviously it needs to see what's in front of you. So
and direction,
I guess
such.
Yeah, disregard that. But yeah, other than that, the Meta Ray-Bans are more of a camera on your face versus apps being able to portray whatever they need to, kind of in your vision, like the Google Glasses are. So,
What do you think of them?
just based off this demo alone and not being able to see them like an in-store kind of thing, they do not look stupidly thick or anything like that. Honestly,
Mm-mm.
um,
They look nice.
they do look nice. I'm assuming that they're going to have the same stipulations as what Meta has to go through in terms of if you are recording, it'll have like a white light next to
Mhm.
the camera, so people are at least aware of what's going on. Um, but I think within the next, I don't know,
Are they both?
especially the fact that they, what's up?
Are they both wearing the glasses in the
Yeah,
video?
yeah.
Okay. There's no like weird cables coming out the back.
No, there's you still have to have your
Bluetooth?
phone with you,
Yeah.
but it is through a Bluetooth thing instead of like it's not a Vision Pro in a sense where you're tethered, umbilical cord to your phone in a sense. So
These are pretty
I'd be
cool,
curious to
man.
know. I'd be curious to know what battery life is. What would you kind of expect for the battery life of something like this to be though?
Hmm. Well,
Like more
it's
than half a
only
day, double digits, or
I would think a full day. Because for example, like it's only going to show you stuff when you ask for it. So it's
yeah, true.
standby time, you know what I mean?
Hopefully, it's pretty good. That was a good point.
Yeah, well, and then if you look at the sides, if you look at the sides of the glasses, they look pretty thick. I would assume that there's a battery stored in each side.
Yeah, I would hope. Yeah, true. And we're kind of getting to the point where we can, because of our battery tech, at least in cell phones too, we can kind of stack them up on top of each other, and they do pretty well. They get
Yeah.
thicker and more efficient in those regards. So I'd be curious to know if they're using that kind of tech in glasses just yet, or if they got their own specialty kind of battery and whatnot.
Yeah, they're cool. It looked like the home screen, because I'm watching the video right now, and the lady
Mhm.
just walked on stage, and it showed kind of like the home screen before she like pushed any buttons or anything, and it just
Yeah.
seemed to show like the time and the weather, and that's it.
Which
And
is kind of funny because
all in
technically,
one color too, so probably pretty easy on the battery. Overall,
oh, true.
is my
Yeah, yeah.
point.
I'm assuming that the time would be, well, maybe you could probably, I'm guessing in the settings, make something consistent or not, because everything else I would assume would just be a clear view after that.
Mhm.
Because I don't know why you would want constantly, let's say, like, unless it's in the settings maybe, but time constantly in the upper left or wherever not. So
I wouldn't want that. I work, bro. I don't want to watch the clock the whole time.
exactly right. I'm like, why
Yeah.
do you want to interrupt your vision? Don't make it just fucking stagnant just right there. Make it be like, hey, if I ask for it, bring it up. Other than that, like, get it out of my sight. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be bothered by it. All
Yeah.
this other stuff.
I try to not look at the time too often at work because then it goes by so slow.
Yeah. But yeah,
They're-
I'd be curious to know what the price is going to be though too on these things.
I still think we're well, what did I say? I still think we're in the thousands.
Oh yeah, true. We expected them to be up there because granted, the first Apple Watch or whatever not was like what, $400, $350.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap actually. Surprisingly cheap.
So it
Because
would
we
be,
looked that up last time.
yeah, it would be impressive if these were like the same as honestly like the Pixel 9a or something.
Dude, if they were, I'd buy one right away. First rip. And we'd review them right here. If they were only $400, if they're $1,000, definitely not buying it.
Yeah.
But
Because honestly, if these are cheaper, which I'm thinking they're going to be, than a flip phone or folding phone, whatever style, which I think they're going to be, then I think that's how they take off. Honestly.
yeah, I agree. Because folding phones are still too damn expensive.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, freaking you're getting $300 phones that can do what you need it to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're fine. Honestly. Like,
and you're
what does this benefit me?
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
Whereas right now, like even the glasses you have on right now could be like fucking putting text in front of your face and this and that. Be like, oh yeah, bro, fucking, we're doing the podcast. Okay, one sec.
I got my script scrolling.
Yep, just checking out the sites right here. Just
Yep.
off in La La Land. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Super cool,
because
honestly.
it always takes. I'm so curious how this is gonna work though, because it takes legislation years to catch up. Typically, how the hell are
Ooh,
glasses gonna work?
yeah, that'll be interesting. Especially like it'll take j- just general rules, yeah, at colleges and at schools and all this.
Well, true, yeah. You take
Yeah,
these into a movie.
tests.
Sorry, no glasses, sir.
Yep. Oh
But
yeah,
these
the
are
movies
prescription.
recording.
Sorry, no,
Oh fuck.
no, yeah. Oh, or that. Sorry, no glasses at this concert. What the? What are you talking about? Like,
Damn, that's such a good point. I didn't even think of that. Driving, distracted driving.
no, the driving piece of it alone. Oh, good God.
Man. Okay, so there are a lot of caveats, but I still think they're super cool. I still think they're so cool. I
It'd be
wish they
so
did.
interesting.
Man, I wish they didn't stop the first time they were trying this, because we would have
I know,
such
but they were so ahead
badass
of their.
glasses now.
They were so ahead of their time, though.
They were.
I
Well,
mean,
if
it was
they're
a single thing. It
since they're
wasn't like
bringing this back,
glasses. It was a single.
bring back Project Aura, damn it.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That's fucking niche beyond niche beyond niche. Which hopefully, which something that is not niche. And I don't think the EV is technically niche, but this EV itself, though, the Slate truck. I don't know how much in depth you've seen of this thing, but
I actually think it's super super cool. And if I had a house and I only needed like 100 miles, wait, how much it
one, let's see, 120
150
kilowatt hour
150.
battery, 150. Okay.
Yeah. 150 miles, I would fucking buy one.
So yeah, because I get 150 for base, and then it's like two. It's in the 200s for the other
I think it just adds
battery.
100, doesn't it?
It's 240. Yeah, so it's 150 miles for base and 240 miles for the next battery pack.
There's a lot of shit
Um,
in cars that's just not necessary. And I kind of like that
yeah,
about this one. And I think that's why the name is Slate. You build it. You build it how you want it.
yeah. So blank slate, which is kind of funny because it's the same letters as what's used in Tesla as well. Just a heads up for people, I guess. I don't know why that matters, but someone pointed that out. I was like, oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, it
Um,
is. Wow. I didn't even think of that. That's wild.
um, So, but yeah, super, super minimalistic in terms of those regards, in terms of the features, not just to a point of like you have a tablet, but it's like, no, 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 you don't even get tablet. You put in your phone, you use your phone, or
Mhm.
technically they did show off you have your own tablet, let's say an iPad
Yeah.
mini or something, you could technically use that. Or what I was thinking, because this is where fucking folding phones finally come into play, and you use your folding phone as the goddamn screen now. Like,
Yeah.
oh, genius.
The only
We
time
have a
it's
reason.
usable.
We, I know. We have a reason.
Let's go.
So I would say Samsung needs to partner with these guys. Um,
The cool
but yeah,
thing is,
supposedly. Oh, go for it.
well, the cool thing is, I was seeing or I was hearing that, like, literally, you can 3D print like actual usable parts for this truck.
See, which is funny because it makes sense that they wouldn't market this, because when I watched their little YouTube show about revealing these things, they mentioned accessories being on these vehicles, because you could have it be in truck mode, or
Hmm.
you could have put a back on it and there's extra seats back there. You could do it yourself and make this thing into an SUV, basically. Um,
Yeah, a Bronco.
but they did not mention though, in terms of whether it be third party or 3D printed accessories. But that was exactly my thought though, in terms of if this is so DIY, especially for like the little speaker holder that they have for like this little JBL thing that you could either buy or obviously put your own in. I'm like, dude, there's gonna be people on Etsy or whatever not that are gonna
Hmm.
3D print something instead of buying the first party stuff.
There's kids in China already
Which,
making it.
yeah, and it's not only that, but it's like that's the one thing they tell you what the base price is of, $20,000 if the federal tax thing is still intact by this time this comes out, supposedly next year ish. Um, because you get a $20,000 truck, but at the same time, if your accessories are, they're adding up, they're like,
7-10 grand.
$5,000, yeah, a piece, then it's like, dude, you just bought yourself a $45,000 truck.
Might as well got a
Just
Ford
FYI. Yeah. Which
Lightning.
has power windows and this, and that, and it's like, okay, like,
Mhm.
how much are you willing to DIY and kind of keep it minimal, basically. So
I think that's why this interests me so much, is because I like building. I have a whole workbench behind me, you know? So the thought of
Mhm.
like modifying and building it is so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, because I was watching not their own presentation, but some other YouTubers' presentation once they got their hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
They said for wrapping the vehicle, obviously the people who wrapped it have probably done multiple of them, but they said it took them like an hour or so to wrap the
That ain't
vehicle.
bad at all.
No, and
That's great.
and that's not coming from a straight beginner per se, but still, they purposely designed it so you could wrap it yourself pretty easily, supposedly, because obviously it's not getting painted at all. Hence why they're able to keep the cost down.
The body panels
Um,
actually look like that too. They look like they'd be easy.
Yeah, they're what is it? Because those are, God, they're not like Phillips head screwdrivers per se, but
Everything's
they're still,
removable.
yeah, it's removable panels and this and that. So you can either get in rear wheel drive or all wheel drive, and then it does come with a NACS charger. So obviously any Tesla chargers, anything like that, you could easily plug into. It doesn't have the fastest charging in terms of the wattage, so I don't know what the charge times on it are exactly.
What's
per
the
se. Also,
wattage?
yeah, I'll scroll up to it a little bit. Peaking at 120 kilowatts. So for an example, some other vehicles nowadays, I think they're trying to hit upper like 400s,
Holy
sometimes
shit.
even more. Yeah, so it's not the fastest in terms of receiving a charge. So it'd be interesting to see what it takes. Well, I guess it does say we'll charge 80% in under 30 minutes, peaking at 120.
I wonder
Now,
if
granted, I don't know if that's with both battery packs or if that's just with the minimum one. They don't really specify it. Also, 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, which if you're buying this, you don't care too much about that anyway, so that's
Nah.
no big deal, I feel like. Tops out at 90, which is freeway, so you're
You're good.
beyond that.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, crash rating will be fine, it says. Obviously, every manufacturer who fucking builds a car has to pass that at some regard. I don't know if it mentions it in here, because it is, at the end of the day, this thing is a little mini truck, but something to keep in mind for some people, give or take. Granted, a lot of people, even with Ford F-150s nowadays, do not even use their truck bed. But
That's so true.
I think that
Unless you have an old
truck. Exactly. Then you're just beating the crap out of it until it literally wheels fall off. It doesn't say. I want to say this thing has a tow rating of 1,000 pounds.
Oh.
Yeah. So it is not. Yeah, it is very.
It's
low,
a K truck.
So, yeah. Which is funny though that you mentioned that, because.
I'm just giving you the perfect segues, huh?
Yeah, you are. Which is also a K truck right here, which I'm, I guess, hiding it, but let me
pull up your stream.
Which is this little guy too, though. So these things are gonna not really.
Wait, I heard of the Tello
per se. Yeah, so this
I
was
think
2
you
weeks
told me
ago. We
about
were
this,
talking
right?
about this bad boy.
Yeah.
Because this thing, let's see, can we the specs? This thing has a towing of 6,600 pounds with a 2,000 payload.
That's way better.
And its standard range is 260. With, if you get the long range pack, it becomes 350.
How much is it though?
Grant, it is going to be, they're aiming for 45,000. So there's your price difference there.
I'm specced out
So you're
too,
kinda,
I'm sure.
Yeah, Not really per se. Let's see. Can I see?
Power windows and such, right?
Yes, they should. Yes, they will have that. In terms of those regards, yes, they will have that. I'm trying to see.
Go to
if they have
pre-order.
it.
Just see if it lists all the
152, which also I guess it's kind of funny.
34,000. Okay, that's not bad.
Oh, base. Yeah. Single motor base.
8-seater?
It's funny to. Did it say 8? It shouldn't be
I
8.
said 2,
I don't
5,
know
or
how
8.
it says 8.
2, 5, or 8.
Because there's 2 here. There's 3 here.
Wait, is this the one that you can put seats in the bed?
Not that I'm aware of on this one. You can fold down the mid gate and it goes to an 8-foot bed, but they never talked about it having 8 seats though. I don't know how that's gonna work. That's interesting. That's a good call out there.
30 minutes to 80% as well.
Unless they allow that in the building configurator when you put a little
Let's try.
camper.
You know what?
on
Let's
here.
build one, bro. Can we build one?
All right. Yeah. Which is funny because you mentioned that the slate, in order to build the slate, you have to put a reservation of $50 in there before you can even build the slate that you're looking into. So
Those cheap bastards.
Just max this out then, I'm
yeah,
assuming.
just build it to the top. 500 horsepower.
motors.
Hell yeah.
All wheel drive, long range, because range is king.
Yep.
Do they have different price points of color though?
Ooh, do they show us the interior when we click the interior?
That is sick that they don't. All right, so whatever color you choose is they do. So like I said, so your power
Ooh.
window right
See,
there.
look at that screen. Like, they definitely spec this bitch out. There's like a little Spotify player
Yeah.
to the left.
Oh yeah, true. With a little Daft Punk right there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
because they just had this on Jay Leno's garage. I just noticed, and I was like, "Oh, sick! Let me check that out."
Oh.
So
They
he's
have
driving this thing around.
They have 2 speakers on each side. You see the speaker in the pillar, and then the speaker in the door. There actually might be 3. It looks like there might be 3 because there's definitely one below, like below the door handle
on the bottom level.
Yeah. I don't know if that mid's a speaker or not.
That should be the door handle. I think the thing coming off the grayish part. That should
No,
be
I'm
the
talking
door
about the
handle, I believe.
right above that, below the mirror on the door where it's kind of meshy, like where
Oh, that should be a speaker.
Yeah. So does that mean there's 3 in the door or 3 on each side?
Oh, that blue's not bad.
Blue looks good
Not-
with the
not too
gray.
bad.
Blue looks good.
Yeah. I feel like you almost kind of go with a blue. Like, well, I guess you could go with an orange exterior. And then let's see, wheels. Wheels don't matter too much.
What do the
Okay,
wheels look
fucking
like though?
Those squares are interesting. I kind of wish it had the zoomed out
Ooh.
version versus.
I like
granted, we're
I
speccing
like the
this to max,
spokes
though.
way more though. Those are way
All right, we've got
cooler.
spokes.
Yeah.
Oh, this part is sick. And granted, we're not sponsored here, folks. Just
Okay.
pointing out cool shit. Just FYI.
What is that? A
Tonneau
solar
cover.
panel on the roof?
I don't know why they're not showing it when I click on it, but yes. So it's a solar panel on the roof.
What's the other option?
So that you could get a tonneau cover or you get a solar tonneau cover.
Can we get solar panel on the roof and solar panel on the cover?
Yeah. I just
Holy
clicked on
shit. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So we got both. Also, these are the solar panels from, I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's called the Aptera vehicle. And the Aptera vehicle is basically a solar EV. You can charge it normally like you would a Tesla, whatever not. But they are licensing these panels from those guys for the most part.
Oh, okay,
And-
okay.
Yeah. So in terms of reliability and decency of getting electricity back into your vehicle, these should be okay. Obviously, it's not production yet, so can't say much. All right, camping shell. That's an extra 2,000. Granted, I guess technically you could buy all 3. Oh, okay. Well, we'll skip the cover. How much is that? We'll just go camper shell. Technically, you could buy all these accessories.
I was
because if you
wondering-
took it off.
We're at this point, so I was wondering if there was like something similar to the Slate where you attach something on the back to create another row of seats. I was wondering if
what I'm
that's how we
thinking
got to
too,
8,
But
but it doesn't look like
the
it.
hard part is, so I'm curious how they get 8 then. It doesn't mention it. I don't know if that's maybe that's just a detail I've missed or something like that. But
Yeah, it's crazy.
But at the end of the day, That's
That's
a close
still
to $50,000 car.
still cheaper than a Cybertruck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then let's see, that's all that. What do we say? 6,600
Yeah.
Cybertruck.
Isn't it like? Oh, okay. They're like
So we can
75K now,
okay,
aren't they?
Man, configurations base.
I don't
This is long
believe
range.
that.
I don't either, but I was just looking at towing capacity, what it is, which is 75 to 11,000 pounds. Then again,
That's what it says.
like we were saying though, how many people actually use their truck?
Yeah.
So it all depends. Again, it is cool because you can even customize these lights on here,
Mm-hmm.
all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, once you get a vehicle, how often are you modding or slash customizing it? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think I do because it's not easily done.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like
No,
my
that makes complete sense.
with my like before my 3D printers, I didn't really modify anything. And then once I got my
Yeah.
3D printers, I started modifying the shit out of things.
That makes sense. It's just
which truck do you think
just
looks
gotta-
better?
this is more of your modern one, or not modern, but like just classic, honestly. And it's kind of funny because even the flat ass gray looks completely fine to me.
It looks clean.
I feel like this is gonna throw a lot of people off.
Mm-hmm.
The front end being like that, that'll have to be something where I feel like you kind of have to get in just to see how what it feels like to have literally, because we're so used to hoods
Yeah.
being in front of us and whatnot, and just kind of being almost like right there. Because granted, a lot, obviously the CEO and whatnot is going to say this, but it's like when you get in there, it doesn't feel like your, windshield is like right here next to your arms and chest. But again, I almost kind of like it. It's a head turner, but it's not a Cybertruck head turner, if that makes sense too.
I
So
think I like the Tello more. No, I don't know. It's different, and I like. Okay, so I like the K truck because it's different, but it's not so different that it's different, but it's not so different that it looks flashy. Does that make sense?
so the Slate, this guy.
Yeah, the Slate is different, but it doesn't look flashy. The Tello is super different, but it looks flashy. Like the headlights or the like those 3 lines and whatever. Like this is different, but it looks clean. It's not trying to do too much. I feel like
this is, it's kind of funny because it's almost in a perfect spot of where they took this picture. Because I'm just picturing this. Imagine you're parking in San Francisco, fucking Seattle, downtown-ish, whatever not. You have to leave your vehicle overnight somewhere. All this other crap. Which one are they busting the window out first of, in a sense? And honestly, yeah, like you said, the Tello does stick out more for sure.
it looks fancy, like just fancier.
Yeah, you're like, what is this thing? You're instantly curious. Whereas this, you're like, oh, that's kind of cute, I guess. Whatever. Not. You're
This
like,
looks
all right,
like one
next.
of those. It looks like one of those old, like, I think they're Mazda B trucks.
Oh, but yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the good old 2-door, whether it be Rangers or Tacomas and this other stuff. Like,
Yeah.
which I'd be curious to see what
like
the
this.
size is of this versus the Mazdas.
I love the look of this. It's so clean. It's so simple, so sleek.
Because another thing, granted, I think unfortunately it'll have to be with due time
Mhm.
with the Slate, is with it being so, in a sense, modular with the back end pieces, with the seats, with the body panels, even repairability is a huge thing.
Huge W.
Hopefully, that's the only thing is though they're gonna have to crank them out, which again they don't have to paint anything though, so that's nice. So hopefully the repairability is super well thought out. But also at the same time, it'd be very nice because then technically these guys don't have to worry about, NVIDIA or all these computer chips in terms of like your latest hardware for
ECU
driver
or
assistance and shit.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that. So like let's say for example, once this releases, 5 years down the road, they're like, hey guys, we're coming out with a new battery pack. It's gonna be able to let you guys do 350 miles of range. It'll cost this much. Like, okay, cool. So you give people the option to upgrade a battery pack in the same exact format as what they already have,
It's the
which would be
framework
super
truck.
nice. Yeah, which would be super nice if that were the case, because honestly, people don't like, whether it be self-driving or anything like that. Some people could care less. It would be hilarious to stick like certain people in there. They'll be like, "Where's my backup camera?" You don't get one.
That's wild.
And even hand cranked windows and all this other stuff. But no, honestly, if it was the range, because they couldn't technically, unless they made a second gen one, because it'd have to be the frame itself in terms of the towing capacity. But if they had it to the point where it's like you could just do a battery swap for, I don't know, 7,000 or whatever it is, like
What if
let's
it's
say 10-year period or something. But
what if it's not a limitation of the chassis and it's like a limitation of the motor they chose?
that'd be even better, honestly.
Because then it would be easier. Yeah. Dude, I don't know why, but I just had a brain blast. It's the framework of trucks, man. Like,
Yeah,
I just started
'cause, yeah.
picturing like Gen 1 framework body or Gen 1 truck body with a Gen 4 framework motor or truck motor. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild. That's so cool.
As long as which is what I'm hoping for, which I kind of think that's where Project Ara fell off, and hence why it'd be super niche, because you have to find a way to have the money consistently flowing instead of the peak and then it just dying off. And be
Yeah.
like, people are set. They don't need anything else. It's like, all
Yeah,
right,
'cause
we have to
after
keep
that-
coming up with stuff.
Yeah, because after that, it's third-party modules, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, you'd have to see if hopefully the goal would be to continue to support, if you bought one of these things, a Gen 1 in a sense, like, compatibility will be huge. How about that? Like,
They'll
that's
make all the
biggest
parts.
takeaway out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they'll definitely make all the parts. That's the thing. See, that's the thing though too. Comparative to whether it be this Tello truck, I know their biggest mission is like, for them, the way it looks, whatever or not, they want off the shelf parts. So that way you can be like, all right, you got into a wreck, whatever not, motor wise. We're not making in-house
Easy.
things really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
pull it off the shelf, put it in, get them on the road again. Whereas this thing, like, if it is in-house, that is fine. But at the same time, if it is so simple, though, then I'm hoping that it's not complicated to crank these things out then.
So you're pretty well versed in the EV market.
Yeah.
Do you believe it's the right time for something like this?
Based off reading on the comments, yes.
You think so?
Yeah, yes, because I think people that are going to be buying this aren't going to be the ones that are in the market for a road trip EV vehicle, if that makes sense.
More of like
They're
a
literally-
city commuter.
Yeah, city commuter. You
Grocery
just want
getter.
a beater up in a sense on your property or something like that. That's electric or whatever not. Yeah, I think people go for this because a lot of people are. Well, again, we'll have to see it in action, but yeah, a lot of people are loving it just because they're like, "Holy shit, something so simple!" Especially the interior. They're like, "Good God, we don't need all this, crystallization. This we don't need
Yeah.
tablets of this." It's like, you're not wrong, to the point where it's like, "Oh yes, we have this luxurious leather in here and blah blah blah," and it's just like, dude,
Yeah.
these are fucking tactile buttons, fucking cloth seats. Your phone is mounted because, honestly, at this point, yes, a majority, probably, I'll say in America, whatever not, but have a phone. But yeah, at that point, it's like, I don't know what else could. They get literally freaking hand cranks for the windows. Not saying some people wouldn't be tired of that after so long, but I don't. It's two completely different markets, because you have those people that buy the fucking King Rancher version of the Ford F-150, and then you have people that buy this.
I'm
So.
sure I'm sure though, if this like takes off, there will definitely be like mod kits to put electric windows in and such.
Yeah, because I don't know. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about possibly having electric windows on this thing. I just don't know where you'd put it. Obviously on the little like door piece right there, possibly, but I think hopefully, which they allow it, because I don't know what their pricing is again for these accessories, but I feel like the third party community for this thing is probably gonna be huge though.
It's gonna blow up. Whereas first
So-
party, they can sell like motor upgrades, battery upgrades. What else could they sell?
Well, because even on everything, like all the accessories that they have in here, they're like either you could do it because they want you to feel like this is a DIY vehicle,
Mhm.
or if you want, we could do it, like just to give you that little bit of safety, I guess.
We
whatever
got
not.
you.
Yeah, of convenience of you don't have to take the time to do so, even though technically you could. But
I think this is super cool.
yeah,
Overall, I think
just
it's a
wanna see
huge
one on
win.
the road.
Yeah, I would love to see one on
Yeah,
the
because
road.
supposedly it's supposed to come out next year, 2026 though, which is kind of cool because a lot of these fucking EV companies, which drives me up the wall. It's like, oh yeah, we're fundraising now, but we don't know when we'll be out.
So
Like, dude, quit kickstarting these crap.
my director of cultivation at my building, he had his Bronco being serviced, so he got to drive the new Mustang EV around. He thought it was pretty
That's
cool.
Interesting. That's interesting. I think for me, that's just wild that they would give him that out of everything else.
Yeah.
But
An EV for a gas user was quite an interesting loaner,
yeah,
honestly.
well, not just
Um,
going from Bronco to that.
But he said it was cool. It charged up really quick. He said he got it from like 15 to like 60% in the 20 minutes that he was charging during his lunch.
Oh, it's not bad.
I was
That's
like,
not bad.
that's not bad at all.
Oh yeah, all depending, I guess, at that point too, in terms of the charger itself, in terms of the speed it can deliver. But
He also said it drove it itself on the freeway. So like,
oh, that shit's
yeah, when he was on the freeway, he didn't have to touch the wheel. Like, well, he did have to touch the wheel, but he didn't have to turn the wheel. It just kind of changed lanes and did it all itself. I was like, oh, that's
Yep.
cool.
Which I will say this, props to that guy then, because I feel like the typical owner would not even attempt that shit, or like even the loaner.
Yeah, that's
He'd
sketch.
be like, why do I want this shit? Give me back to my Bronco. Just be like, no, dude, this guy was fucking trying everything. Which props to that guy. A lot
Yeah,
of people do not like change, so
I would so love to not ever have to drive again. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll get to test that out here coming a little bit over a month now. We're
Will
gonna
have
see how
full
that
self-drive?
goes. Well, I think Tesla's so weird in terms of their autopilot versus full
They have
self-drive.
two
I'd have
different
to look at
versions, right?
Yeah, they have autopilot, which I think is based on all the Teslas, and then they have full self-driving, which is more of your city stuff and yeah, switching the lanes and whatnot. But for my case, even if it has the autopilot piece of it to where it's like keep me in the lane and drive and do my turns and whatnot, then
Make the
I'll be
noise, touch the
fucking-
wheel.
yeah, I'll be dandy on that and be like, all right, let's see how this goes. Freaking 500 miles later, double tap.
Do they all?
Let's see how we do.
Do they all have the capability of doing like the call when you're in the
The
parking
summon
lot?
feature? I
Yeah.
don't think so. I think that's their full self-drive. That's part of their full self-driving thing.
Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. Maybe
Oh,
more sensors.
keep-
I think it's the same sensors though. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's all the
It's just a
hardware's
module.
there. It's all the
It's
hardware
literally a
there. You're just
module.
paying for a software unlock. So
Oh, it's not an added module.
no, I don't think so. As long as you have the right hardware, you're good.
Software locked. Ooh, damn you, Elon.
Might just be the future.
Yeah, damn you, Elon. Shit, jackass. Anyway,
But
I think
no,
it's
yeah,
cool.
these will be interesting, dude. Can you imagine the used market on these things? That's what I'm curious about.
Ooh, because they start at 20K already.
Yeah.
Imagine what that gets down to. Oh,
'Cause
you know,
EVs,
at first,
least
at
right
first
now,
they'll be
they don't hold
scalped.
their shit.
At first they'll be
Yeah.
scalped like crazy. And they'll probably get all the way up to like 60 and 80K. But after that,
So
dude,
funny.
We could probably pick one of these up for 7K.
Yep. Just a joke vehicle. Be like, here you go. Fucking mess with this.
I mean, you know what's crazy? It's 10 years from now, we're gonna be giving this to like some kid, right? And they'll be like, "What the fuck is this? What is this horse shit?" We're like, "It was one of the coolest vehicles back in 2026."
What are these handles for? Oh God, it's rolling down the window. Jesus Christ, that's fucking awful.
Oh, dude, and other cars will just have like touch capacitive, like you just like swipe and it'll go down.
Or you just say the name of the car. Hey BMW, roll down my window. You got this one.
I didn't even think of that. It has a taste of the 90s while being from 2025.
I'm picturing a kid in a high school parking lot being the guy who has to fucking still do one of these. Back up.
Oh man, that's awesome though. That's so awesome.
Hanging his head out the window and whatever not. Be like, yep, this thing don't have a freaking, it doesn't beep at me for any sensors or whatever not. Get the hell out of my way back there.
I think that's so cool though.
So funny.
And it's
like I don't know if it shows it. Well, it kind of does in this yellow one. I kind of like the little Jeep-ish look where it does have the rails on the back there.
Yeah, it looks clean. It almost looks off-roady.
Yeah, they don't show it here. They had an image where the doors were like these front doors were actually off, which would be kind of sick too.
Oh, you take the front doors off?
But yeah, you can take this front doors off, no problem.
That's cool.
So I'd be kind of curious to know how that works. And then not only that, but the fact that, so for example, on this, when it has the little Jeep look to it, whatever not, you got your back seats, which obviously at that point, just tell people to just, since it's a 2-door as well, be like, dude, just hop on the tire and hop in back. You're good.
Jump in. It's 20,000.
This bitch is $7,000. Let's run it to the ground.
Drive till the wheels fall off.
That's right. I'm curious if there's a mid-gate, like if that's a thing, or if you completely have to take out the back window piece of this. They didn't mention that at all, which is interesting, because then that still remains it being a 5-foot bed instead of, let's say, like with the Tello, it becomes an 8 with the mid-gate. But still, I don't know. I think it's still cool no matter what. It's kind of weird that they don't show the other, besides this little square one. They kind of have another back option as well. But I guarantee those accessories are gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, that's probably where they're gonna make their money. Kind of like consoles.
Yep, yeah, true. We'll sell you the base, but you could do this to it.
You could get this really cool steering wheel.
Yep, start paying on people's. How bad do you want this? How bad? How long can you
FOMO,
wait?
Baby.
Yeah, get the patience going, because I doubt they'll have sales on the accessories at any point. So, but
man, that's so cool.
Look forward to this in a couple of years. See if it's ever on the road. But
hopefully it is.
This is getting interesting because EVs within our futures. I feel like at some point or another.
Not only within our futures,
keep it out.
Within our price range. This is in our price range.
That's why I don't mind the freaking used market, because used market, even for a few years old, that shit fucking drops. I'm like, oh sweet. So if anything,
it's crazy.
Slate, Tello, or anything, it's just teaching me to be patient.
You would probably
just wait until.
You would probably know more about this, but a lot of the fear in the used market and why it's like it doesn't really move is fear of the batteries. Like, is that like
you could easily get that tested though?
Is that like a real fear to have? You know what I mean?
Fear of the battery in terms of like what? How good
quality, like durability, how much longer it's got, basically.
That's an easy test.
Well, yeah.
That's like, so like now it would be taking a car to the mechanic and be like, yo, give me a 100-point inspection. It's just it would be a software read, kind of like what you do with your iPhone in terms of it tells you how much
charge cycles,
battery. Yeah, charge cycles.
Yeah.
The
there's computer built in
percentage.
BMS.
Yeah. Like, oh, your battery health, it's at 97%, and you've had it, then you could calculate it from there in terms of how long you've had it, what you're expecting the degradation to be, and all this other stuff. So
that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But that from everybody I've talked to, that seems to be the fear, is batteries, dying like a year after they get it.
Oh, easily. Well, none of that. It's the most, hence why EVs are so expensive. It's the most expensive part of the vehicle itself. But it doesn't mean there's not software out there now where you could literally battery health check it. And I think you could also, obviously, warranties, but still.
It's also actually, now that I think about it, it's also actually kind of crazy that people feel that way, because I know why they feel that way. It's cell phones. You know, you've been so used to your cell phone battery getting shittier after a year. It's not really like that anymore. Your phone actually holds through pretty well, even to the second year, the third year, maybe more normally by the fourth year, you're like, oh fuck, this sucks. But
yeah, because I don't know.
They've been getting better. Ours do not show battery health.
The health. Okay.
No.
Yeah, because I know obviously iPhones do and whatever not, but I feel like if you're constantly paying that like attention to that, you're like, oh god, it's getting worse, because you don't see that in an engine per se. In an engine, you're thinking like, oh, it either fucking runs or it doesn't. Whereas if you see your battery going down, you're like, oh god, why is it at 90%? It's like, bro, you've had it for like umpteen years. It's gonna degrade just a little bit. It's kind of like, honestly, the easiest way to kind of put it would be take your car battery and expand that, or like you were saying, your cell phone battery. Like, they go bad at some point just because of the chemistries and whatnot in there.
Yeah, they break down.
So, yeah,
they break down.
Would I rather spend, you know, 5,000 to 10,000 or whatever it ends up being, you know, for a new battery versus a whole new car, you know, in the future or something? But yeah, that all depends. I can see where the fear comes from, though. So.
Yeah, and well, and also
people don't want to be stuck with a lemon.
The that's a good way to put it. That's totally true. I also do remember when Priuses were being all hyped. Prius replacement batteries were super expensive, and I actually think those caused a lot of fear too, because those were dying after like 2 years.
See, I can see, I can see that. Which honestly, I don't hear about that anymore. I can see that being in the first gen stuff, but honestly,
it's
let the first gen stuff cook for a year and then decide from there. Would be
it's what you said earlier, though. A company, or it's a company, not so much a company with this though, but it's you said a company doesn't want to put out a bad image for the first thing. This is a product put out a bad image for its first thing.
Yeah. Yep. It's not their intent to do that. How about that?
No.
Not saying shit don't happen, but still, like,
I love I love electric cars, man. I think it's hype. Engines in them, or not engines, but the motors in them, super fucking impressive. My god, they're just
I'm kind of surprised they don't.
Giant big wheels, bro. Giant big wheels.
That too, yeah.
Fuck yes.
Well, freaking, I remember Tesla back in the early days reading some deep dive articles on that. Their engines, their motors, whatever or not. I think they mentioned that they were rated for 500,000 miles, and that was back in the day.
Wild.
So, again, I'm assuming they're at least that right now, but at the same time, I'm kind of surprised that just for the ease of mind for people that they don't market that more. I guess
they should.
So
they should.
Like, your motor, if anything, it's gonna be fine. It's honestly your battery, in a sense, where, don't get me wrong, it'll hold the test of time, but it won't be the same 10 years down the road.
No.
So.
And that's also like comparative to all the maintenance required for a gas car. It'll like added up would probably cost you the cost of the replacement battery.
Yeah, there's probably that's where it evens out.
If not, the battery would be less. If not, the battery would be less.
Well,
because you got to think
depending on
all the oil change, all the belts, all the new spark plugs, wires, coil packs, fucking radiator. You never know. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I guess these technically have a cooling system too, but yeah,
True.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because they still use.
There's just a lot more
motor oil. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
not, or engine, whatever, same thing. But you don't have to change it. How about that? It's stuck in there.
Yeah, it's
Um,
closed system. I think is yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of maintenance, literally washer fluid and you're good. But no, yeah, it'll be exciting times. See where it
Mhm.
goes. Let's fucking use market, man. Don't have a fear in that. You get some fucking steals, honestly.
Oh
At
yeah.
this point,
Just don't buy a Nissan Leaf.
yeah, have something with at least a repair shop. Probably do
Yeah.
the background research that people don't look into in terms
Yeah.
of what's my repairs look
I'm
like,
talking to you, buddy.
and then charges, I guess, and whatever not. But like, that's about it. So, because that would be the thing that sucks is you get put into a shitty situation where you get popped and it's not even your fault, and then you're out of fucking vehicle for months on end because the repair for this thing fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So,
Real quick.
but
Side note,
yeah.
if you look at me, I'm no longer transparent.
Did you fix it?
I figured it out.
What was it?
It wasn't anything. It was the color I had it as.
Oh, really?
If I go back to, what was it? The light blue, it comes
Oh, is it
back.
chroma green?
I don't
Or
know.
is it-
I don't have any filters on my camera, but for some reason, when I'm on this color, it comes back. But if I
That's
switch
so
it,
funny.
it goes away.
It doesn't care. That's so funny.
I fucking don't know, dude. I was just
You
like,
wanna-
what the fuck is wrong?
You
For
wanna you wanna hear my stupid tech story, I guess, of the week then?
Hit me with it.
All right, so on my computer I'm streaming on now. For some reason my Bluetooth keyboard wasn't connecting.
Mhm.
Like, what the fuck? So let me
Okay.
just plug in my cable. Okay, whatever. And I'm like looking at my Bluetooth settings, and they typically pop up when you click on whatever your little sound slash internet
Yeah,
connection.
yeah.
It'll pop up and have Bluetooth up there, and that wasn't available. I was like, what the hell? Why is this toggle not available? I'm looking it up and all this other stuff, and it's telling me like, oh, go to your drivers, like hit Windows X, go to your device manager, go to your drivers. If it's not there, go to view hidden, and then you see Bluetooth. Okay, good, we're good there. And then go to, like, let's say your motherboard or whatever, Intel or this and that, and
Yeah,
click
yeah.
on update
Drivers.
or this, and yeah, update drivers, blah blah blah, all this other stuff. I do that and still no toggle. And I even go as far as, because what it said to do also was uninstall it, and then when you restart your PC, it should manually put that driver back on there. And it was funny because it didn't.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, shit. And then this is where AI came in. And then I was like, all right, fucking ChatGPT.
Hell yeah.
What am I doing here? I was like, what am I doing here? And I was like, all right, well, this is what we found in terms of Bluetooth toggles and whatever not. It literally said, and this is the fucking best part, because I even tried this even before I was even device manager. I did the typical click on the Windows icon, click on restart,
Mhm.
and just fucking hope it comes back. Didn't do it after that. So I was like, okay. So I get to this point, talking with ChatGPT. It wants me to do a cold restart. So kill it,
Oh, like
kill
a
it with fire
hold the button.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
Which I like to call kill it with fire instead of cold restart because
Yeah.
it sounds funny.
Yeah.
So I just holding it for 10 seconds. It told me to unplug the back of the power cord in the PC, but I was like, I'm not reaching back there to try to put it back in. So I was like, I'm just gonna unplug it from the wall. So I unplugged it from the wall.
Okay.
Waited, the typical 30 seconds or whatever bullshit. I plug it back in.
Capacitors. Yeah.
I turn it on. We got Bluetooth. Like,
Really?
why the hell? Yeah, I'm like, why the hell did a cold restart freaking allow me, and unplug from the wall, allow the toggle to come back on? What comparative to a normal restart, device manager, all this other shit? I'm just like, dude, in terms of
Hmm.
keeping it simple, I'm just like, always start from the basics. I'm like, Jesus,
Why would
Murphy.
that be? Maybe you had something kind of corrupt stored in your temporary cache that needed to be cleared and wouldn't be cleared with a restart because your computer assumes that you want it when the computer turns back on. That would be my guess.
That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah,
Yeah.
fresh kind of shit. It's funny too because it also said make sure you're updated on Windows updates, and that was fine too. So,
Mhm.
so I was just like, all right, just unplug it and plug it back in.
Hey, we take those. That's a big W.
I know.
That's a
I
big
was like,
W.
yeah, sweet. I got a free cable again. Let's go.
Did I did I ever tell you the reason why Jensen upgraded his computer?
No, I don't think so.
He upgraded his computer because his computer was really old, so but the main reason was all of a sudden, for some reason, he did a Windows update and it removed all audio drivers. He could
Oh my
not
God.
have audio anymore. And like I troubleshooted this with him for like hours one day and it just never worked. We could just never get it to work again. So I don't know if it's a known issue with that board. This is a while back now. This is probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. I'm sure AI can
Yeah.
fix it for me now, but yeah, I tried everything. I went to the manufacturer's site, downloaded all the drivers. We looked up like the audio specs for the board and went to that site and tried to download their specific drivers. Dude, yeah. So annoying what like a little update can do to break something.
You're like, it was working just fine. What the fuck?
Yeah, I wish I didn't do this update.
Don't force me. Oh, bro, you gotta do it. It's for security purposes. Fuck that. I'm not important.
I'm so secure. Shut up.
I'm fine. Oh man. But
Cool.
no, that's
Well, that's all I
have
got.
for this week. Yeah. But yeah, until next time, we'll be doing our podcast in the Slate truck with our Google glasses, and yeah, going from there. You
It'll be a
going on the
great
road
time.
with that shit.
Hopefully you all tune in and join because we need that to pay for the Slate truck.
Yeah, we're yeah. At what point can we consider this a business expense? How many subs do we need?
Yeah, we're about 30K short on the truck right now. Let me just tell you.
Fuck.
We'll get there though, as long as
Yeah,
you
there we
keep
go.
watching.
One day in time, whether it be used or new.
Yep. Cool.
All
Well,
right, take it easy, folks. Take it easy.
peace.